Futures back to basically break even here to kick things off this morning. We're still holding on to positive territory, but only just ahead of what is to come later this afternoon. We get the Fed decision from Fed Chair Powell, first off, 2 p.m., then, right into the biggest of the big earnings after the close. Tesla, Microsoft, Intel, among those set to report. 0.07 right now. We're coming back into basically where we ended the day yesterday for the overall market. A lot to discuss this morning ahead of Fed Chair Powell with tariffs just right around the corner. I mean, coming up this weekend, we could have tariffs to talk about, not only on Canada, but potentially China as well. Oh, by the way, Alibaba apparently just dethroned DeepSeek for the AI ruler of the world at this point. So we'll see how that plays out this morning. BABA shares up nicely on that after what happened yesterday afternoon when that news first broke. We're all the way back to $100 here, 3.5% for Alibaba. Tesla on watch here as well, 0.6 right now, downside ahead of their report. I was watching a video this morning, and Darren's with me on the desk here this morning, Sharif, with an appointment. He'll be with us a little bit later on. I was watching this video. We'll show it a little bit later, but now the Model 3s drive themselves off the manufacturing line to the parking lot to await deportation to delivery. Leave the World Behind. Did you watch that movie?
No.
It was the one with Julia Roberts. I think it was on Netflix.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, there was a scene in that movie where white Model 3s are trying to kill the main stars of the movie. So that just reminded me of that. But anyway, lots to discuss on the Tesla side of things. I mean, Microsoft, Apple as well, back on watch here this morning with a downgrade. Oppenheimer, not too fond of Apple this morning, putting it back in its place after a great day yesterday. I mean, it's 1.8% right now, not a huge deal, but a lot to consider today.
Yes, I think the Apple thing is really fascinating because a lot of people were saying what saved Apple from that drop most of the rest of the tech memes took on Monday was the fact that its AI is a little bit not as advanced. Well, actually, Oppenheimer had listed that as part of the reasons for their downgrade is their AI does not really give you any reason to upgrade your device. So it's interesting stuff here. The Apple AI does seem to be a bit of a double-edged sword. DeepSeek on watch too. Of course, Alibaba announcing their AI pretty late in the day yesterday, and about 10 minutes later, Cloudflare NET, not to be beaten, said they actually also have AI and they have DeepSeek integration. So I think that story will be continuing.
Perplexity as well already with integration for DeepSeek. So every time you step away from a computer, a new AI model pops up. So yeah, I mean, Apple I think has some work to do as far as that is concerned, but not looking too healthy here so far. Nice couple of days, though, guys. Good morning.
Morning. Yeah, Apple's been good a couple of days, and now it's DJT's morning, apparently, because they're going into financial services. DJT just popped 14%. Trump media funds also to be allocated to SMAs, ETFs, and crypto. Wow. So, yeah, it looks like we're also, in addition to it being a Fed day and major earnings after the market and Alibaba running like crazy, Nvidia doing, obviously it's doing good volume, maybe not as much as yesterday. Throw this one into the its hat in the ring here for DJT. As, that was a pretty hefty pop there, just hitting the wires literally as we started at 8:30. Yeah, so it's gonna be a wild one. I actually think it's weird. Like the Fed is like the least exciting part of the day in some regard because we know what we're gonna get, and then we just see what Powell has to say maybe about tariffs and what they're looking for the rest of the year, because we're not getting a hike.
No,
basically, sorry, not a hike, a cut. It's like it's 100%, 99 point something, whatever it works out to.
Ooh, man,
a hot free throw.
That DJT is a big middle finger on this chart right here. I mean, this is just like, hello, boom, boom, right here. Nice move, right back to the upside of DJT. The reason why I wanted to bring it up is because I'm just noticing right now that on, and again, as Neil had mentioned there, Trump Media and Technology Group to launch financial services and Fintech brand. So you're running into that 50-period moving average. That's all. So up 13%, 14, 15%. Now it's fading right back on that area. So I would say that if you had bought some yesterday for some reason or the last little while, especially at these lows, I mean, you're only back to the money now over the last 2 days. so you'd had to have bought it there. But if you had, this isn't a horrible opportunity. So there goes DJT. I think Apple probably is a short today just because of that note. Honestly, I don't believe that there's going to be weaker iPhone sales. I think they're going to be better, but I don't really care what I believe. It's just what the market's doing right now. So you could see Apple just had the same issue that we just talked about with DJT. Runs into the 50-period moving average at 240, had some issues there before, and now all of a sudden, miraculously, this downgrade comes 2 days before earnings, and yeah, we bounce off that off the 50 period. So yeah, I like Apple to the short side. Nvidia's moving around. I said to Neil, semiconductors aren't up, but basically they all are, other than Nvidia. Nvidia right now down that 2%, so that's taking a little bit of a slowdown there. I feel like yesterday's 7% move up, that could have been an area to take some kind of profit there. I didn't, but I get that feeling. And then AMD also with a higher play now. DJT is actually going higher right now, 34.60. AMD's up 1%. So not the same for all of them. We could check out Intel. Intel's actually about flat, and then Broadcom trying to bounce back. There goes DJT, 34.50 as well. So that's, starting to get extended past that 50-period moving average. So you're in the pocket right now of profit taking, I feel like, on DJT, but Fintech brand. let me check out with another Fintech brand right here quickly. We left SoFi. Okay, so SoFi did hold out okay. It did have that nice move right into their 50-period moving average, and it looks like they might be holding that too, up near $16. I still think I prefer Robinhood, but SoFi's been pretty good so far.
There's a Schwab angle to this story as well, guys. It's $250 million is going to be custodied by Charles Schwab. So SCHW also moved on that up to 83, not as much volume or big of a move, but 250 million going to be custodied for this. Truth.fi is the name of this new fintech that they're going to launch. So TruthFi. 250 million going to Schwab on that, but DJT, wow, still taking out the high share, 34.50.
Yeah, I think this is really interesting here too with regards to, I guess, the Truth brand growing. It makes sense DJT would run on that because Trump Media and Technologies was generally just associated with the social platform. Now there's this Truth.fi. It makes sense. We would have that association. Also looking to see if some of these other fintechs performed in that announcement. SoFi didn't do too much, but PayPal, I mean, not a ton of volume here, but a little bit of a drop here in PYPL. So maybe keep an eye on some of these other fintechs in addition to Schwab for some sympathy or antipathy plays in this news.
Yeah, it comes on the back of X launching earlier this week or announcing that their financial products are about to hit the ground running as well. Coming back in here a little bit, guys, but still huge pop here for DJT.
Yeah, I mean, we
you
just
gotta
sort of
respect it.
Yeah, we just sort of talked about that. I mean, I don't. Let me check out what I didn't hear the discussion there of the short floats. Let me just go over and just have a quick look because we always want to know what's fueling some of these plays. So I only have it right here at 8.28%, right there. So you can see. That's not going to be a huge factor, I don't feel like, but I was just looking at, I mean, there was another play. Adair brought up PayPal. I think that was a good one there. Robinhood as well. But you know what? In order to be a fintech play, you got to have customers. I don't know, like, I mean, are we depositing money in here? Like, I don't really know what this story is going to mean until we hear more about it, I guess, right? So it's like, sure, you're a fintech play. What does that mean? I feel like Stripe is coming public hopefully this year. So that's going to be another fintech, obviously, that battles with some of this money. And when you're looking to get startup capital, I mean, it's going to have to flow somewhere. And right now, I mean, does DJT have what it takes to move the needle here? It's been really hit, obviously, in the last week or so, back down to the downside. But with AI and everything back in right now, like, I don't know, is fintech something where they can step right into that? We'll have to wait to see. But I just like the fact that it's at the 50-period moving average. And I said already, I think it's a profit-taking area. But who's taking profits? Because if you had bought this name any time in the last, I mean, that goes back to December 5th, that 1st of December, right there is $34. So if you've been buying this for a little while there, you're just getting back to flat right now. That's why I think it might be a good opportunity to sell something. But yeah, this could be the start of a new business venture for DJT. Do you believe in it? I mean,
couldn't they? They could also just buy a bunch of
Trump coin.
They could just buy a bunch of Bitcoin in front of I mean, I don't know, an announcement of like a Bitcoin reserve, which would be a little bit self-serving, but I mean, that would still be good for the stock. Like, that's the first place my head goes to. It's like, well, I mean, okay, fine. They could just turn into like a little bit of a micro strategy or maybe diversify it a little bit. There's a lot of possibilities here. I saw 11.5% at FinViz. So it's still,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's still pretty decent short float. And if it gets to 35, I mean, there's a decent chance this could squeeze. I think it kind of behooves you on 2 million shares pre-market to add it to your list today. I think if it holds the open at the 50 period and is breaking out 35, like, why fight it? Maybe just try to join something. We'll let it settle down for the next, we have like an hour till the open, right? So I think you want to let it settle down a little bit here. I don't want to be buying it in the middle of thin air.
Yeah.
I can see them loading up on Bitcoin and then strategic reserve and then DJT to the moon.
No, 100%. I mean, that's. I didn't even really think about the crypto angle there until I just jokingly mentioned Trump coin. But yeah, there is a play with Bitcoin. I mean, they could announce DJT is investing whatever cash they have all in Bitcoin, right? I mean, that could easily happen.
Oh boy.
We don't. I just want to say, I see some people in the chat like, we'll talk about these stocks, but not like in a political matter, right? I mean, obviously, I think DJT right now with the new president coming in, it's namesake right here in the stock. So I just, regardless of your affiliation, we'll talk about, hopefully money-making opportunities and what's been happening in the stock market in general. So, I mean, I was just saying that there's the break right now. It looks like they want to buy this name up. So, yeah, DJT today, guys, 2.19 million, and it's starting to rocket up some of the screeners, right? The scanners. This is going to be a high volume name right now. So you want to check your eSignal platform. Make sure you scan that QR code below right there. We have 30 days free trial. You can grab all of this. This is how we're finding all of these plays right now through scanners and whatnot. Volume, average daily volume, true volume in the aftermarket and the pre-market. So here it goes, man. DJT now breaking through 35. Hey, congratulations, anybody that was buying that dip. I mean, you could play this like earnings. There's the move. There's the dip back to VWAP. We say that when there's a gap, play to VWAP. And I mean, this is gapping right now. So nice move there. Nice break of $35. Congratulations to everybody long this name. I think it's, we've talked about it. So up 16% is a great day. Let's go back over to the desk now and start reviewing a few things.
A couple other things moving around here, guys. I was just noticing AMD. Yeah, there goes DJT again through 35.25 back to highs right now. AMD notably strong here, 1.2%. Move over Nancy Pelosi. Marjorie Taylor Greene loading up on a few things. Meta, Amazon, Tesla, Nvidia, and down here, actually, AMD mentioned as well. I mean, it's nowhere near Nancy Pelosi's size, but notable, I guess.
I was going to say as well, the size on this is pretty small because I was looking at this as well for the watch list today. So except for Treasury bills, where apparently she has between 50,000 to 100,000 involved, every other one of these purchases is 1,000 to 15,000. It is worth noting, though, another name I want to mention she's gotten involved in here is Palo Alto Networks, because they've had quite the run over the last few days with the semiconductors. This is just AMD. But yes, AMD, especially with it being beaten up, and Palo Alto with it, and the cybersecurity names being a decent look, certainly things to keep an eye on here.
I guess that's kind of an 80-20 type portfolio. I mean, 50,000 to 100,000 of treasuries, and then a whole bunch of tech added to this as well. So, I mean, it's obviously not going to move the needle too much today, guys, but 1% here for AMD, not bad.
Any update for AMD recently has been good. Like, let's be real. Like, it's literally at the lows as we speak. And 1% off of that isn't necessarily a big deal. But look at this. It's just been holding the same trend. And I know I say this every single time, but all right, I didn't draw that trend line very good, but you get an idea. It's not that complicated when you look at AMD recently. When it can try to close, breaking this out, and now all of a sudden the good news about this trend line is you got the 50 period, so you can kind of now say the 50 period moving average break is the break of the downtrend on AMD. So that's what would get me more bullish on AMD. It's not a stock that I personally would be buying. All of that said, is a day trade. I mean, you got the August low, you got the low from mid-Jan. It's crazy that it's already the end of January. I'm saying mid-Jan. And then you have a double bottom here at 113. So there is a trade down here. I feel pretty red. I mean, the Nasdaq just went red, and we're heading to the downside.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like this is a double bottom at 113. You can do worse than looking for a reversion at 113. on AMD if we get down there. And most days I'm thinking AMD short. The fact that it's up when, I mean, Nvidia's down 2% today, I don't know that I want to be shorting that name. I'm looking at Nvidia and Marvell kind of like yesterday. Marvell still, I like that 110 zone. And the thing about Marvell that I like for the south side is, you know, after breaking down on the DeepSeek news, you're underneath the 50 period with that resistance overhead on MRVL. So yeah, they're both gapping, but the difference being, I think if this one plays into the 50 period, I want to short it there. Whereas AMD I see as very unlikely to get to its 50 period moving average on the daily.
Yeah, so I mean, again, good looks there on some other names other than Nvidia, AMD. We talked about Intel a little bit. One name that we probably don't trade enough, and I'm not really sure why, because it's right in the pocket with the right price, and that's Broadcom. Yeah. And it's only $200, so it's easy to figure out risk to reward. I mean, it's very similar to some of these other prices. I still remember like when Microsoft was 200 and all these stocks were this price. Okay, but look at this. Can you take a look at this, OB? Where's OB? Was that one meme that he had for me? Take a look. Oops, there's the split. Let's get rid of that. Take a look at that. But right into there, 205. We always talk about trying to buy some names at the 50 period. It's going to do something. Don't worry about it. But it's doing something right now, and that's the 50-period moving average. So you've seen, unfortunately, I got to, you know what? Let me use the eSignal charting platform here because eSignal never misses. You can scan the QR code, not that one, but make sure you do scan that one. Go find eSignal in our description. It's a month free right now with eSignal, guys. But here it is. No, come back here. So this is the eSignal chart. So it still is the 50-period moving average, so it's legit right there for Broadcom. Nice drop down there as we all worry about DeepSeek. That's fine. I understand it. For an investment level, I'm not sure it's time to buy it per se. If there are any issues, I think we did talk about this because I remember this gap not being filled. I think back to 180 is great. Nvidia, we talk about being at the 200-period moving average, NVDA, right? Come down. So there it is. So this is why we bought Nvidia yesterday, 2 days ago. That's why we bought Nvidia on the whoosh, right? Because it came into the 200-period moving average. So Broadcom still has a ways to go before we get there. But as a temporary bounce, and we're talking about day trades right now, I think that this 205 isn't looking horrible. Plus, it's also the 200-period moving average right here, possibly with a little bit of action today, swooping higher right now on the 5-minute chart. So 205 for Broadcom on a dip down could be tested. That could be tested real early. So if you really thought about a level to defend, this 200 looks pretty good. We whooshed down there. We were only down there for basically 20 minutes or not even on that day, and then we took it and we ripped up $10. So I would say this 200 probably gets defended pretty good there. So for me, Broadcom today on a little bit of a look other than, like I said, man, we traded Nvidia really well the last couple of days, both to the long end of the short side. It's just today, honestly, I came in and I said, I'm thinking short today. And then this kind of started happening and the volume started picking up and Nvidia's down 2%. So I'm a little bit short here, I think.
The only stock that I looked at that I liked long is Baba. And yes. Baba doesn't follow them. I mean, Baba doesn't always care. Alibaba's not going to care necessarily what the NASDAQ is doing and what our big cap tech is doing here. It's got its own AI news. So I think it's hopefully going to be able to stand alone on a day like today. But yeah, it's hard to look constructively when you see Nvidia coming down and all the other chips trying to hold a gap. It's basically just about ASML, which I suppose we'll get to, because ASML gapped up on their earnings, still strong year-over-year numbers. But remember with this DeepSeek, it's not as if, oh, DeepSeek's around. You're going to see a drop in numbers in earnings because revenues aren't going to be there for these names. We won't know that for a quarter or two. But what happened is, immediately, and this actually trades primarily in Amsterdam, so maybe I should have pulled that up. Or I guess it doesn't want to, whatever. It trades primarily in Amsterdam, but so watch out at 11:30 if you happen to be trading ASML. But since you sit down, it's been drifting back downside, and this is what brought most of the chip names up in the aftermarket was ASML. So it's worth watching if this continues its little subtle downward trend. I can't be that bullish on any of the chip names in there, but a lot can happen before we get into the open. And don't worry, there's still some strong stocks out there. I mean, Meta's a pretty good example of one.
I keep forgetting that it's Fed day today.
Yeah.
So it's like, the more I think about this, some of these stocks, we have to trade names that have catalysts, because you could get kind of a nothing move until the Fed, which I think at that point the market will go southbound after the Fed. But for right now, yeah, I think we've covered some decent names here. There's a couple other ones we want to talk about. I do like the Starbucks report. We'll get to that in a little bit as well. But yeah, so far so good right there. Oh, my wife was sending me some pictures of the aquarium. What? Hold on a second.
Oh, you're at the aquarium?
No. We have a little aquarium.
Oh, your aquarium.
Oh, there's two. So we have some snails here, and there's two new baby snails in our aquarium. I think that's what she said. Hey, there's one of those guppies, or I forget what those things are called. But right there, yeah, a couple new baby snails. Okay. I get it. All right. She was sending me that. I wanted to show it to everybody. Okay, 126 might break here on Nvidia. But anyways, all right, let's go back over to the desk. We'll get that sticky note out.
I don't know why, but I just started thinking of escargot.
I actually thought it would be
Yeah,
a dish.
so good. Faraday, FFIE up after the close yesterday. There was a financing deal that came through for them, $30 million for FFIE. Huge move, actually, back to 180 here before we went out last night. Fading off pretty quickly, though. 150, something, 11% for FFIE. Notable. There's a few analyst moves this morning. Boeing, once again, actually catching, BA. Boeing catching a price target increase to 185. Signs of improving operations and strong demand. Big day yesterday after that earnings report. If you missed it, it was about this time, actually, yesterday. The CEO was on CNBC talking very positively, which, seemed to improve the sentiment going into the session, but we gave it all back.
He also invoked Elon Musk's name, which usually is pretty good for a stock. And the other thing, too, is we know that a lot of these airline CEOs at the last report were very bullish on Kelly Ortberg, the new CEO, thinking that he has what it takes to turn it around. I can go over some other analyst moves quickly as well. BHF here, Bright House Financial, getting an upgrade here from Barclays, increasing its price target from 52 to 85. In case you missed it, there were some reports yesterday from the Financial Times that Bright House Financial is looking to sell itself. So BHF looking to go private here. We have some upgrades in the communication space as well. DZ Bank upgrading both AT&T and Verizon, and of course, T-Mobile at their earnings today as well. On the downgrade side of things, we have Datadog getting a downgrade from Stifel to hold Moderna, which we know is going to be on watch, especially if RFK Jr. gets appointed for the health position. They also got a downgrade here from Goldman Sachs. And then Apple as a downgrade. I'm sure that will be discussed in a lot more detail when we head into the rundown. But there's actually a good amount of upgrades and downgrades today in a variety of different
that RFK thing started yesterday. The prior hearings, anyways, to see what happens with him. Yeah, you saw LMT there. That was another one. So some moves in the defense area. RBC lowering their price target on LMT after a huge move down yesterday for Lockheed Martin. RTX, another one. JP Morgan raising their price target for RTX to 150 here today. So not a lot, but notable here.
Sure, and look, I think Lockheed needs to settle itself down. It's down a lot, that stock, and I feel like there's going to be not yet, but I think you'll let it settle for a few days, maybe even a couple of weeks, and there'll be a buying opportunity there. Boeing report yesterday, it looked like it was going to be fantastic, all the right stuff in terms of reaction to the report, and reaction by the market was good. It's just, well, you lost $180. So in the afternoon, it was just bleeding pretty much for like an hour and a half when it lost the 180 to 181 area. So it's kind of looking like a little bit of a head and shoulders on the 15 minutes. Still has a little bit to set up here. Volume's not huge, but it's a simple, maybe even to 181. Like that's 180 to 181. And for this one, it was fourth on my note. I feel like with the volume that DJT has, there's a decent chance that I might look at that at the open and circle back to Boeing later, but a simple over-under. If it's breaking out above 181, don't fight it. But if it gets in this zone or stays under 180, got to look only short with room down to 74, 75, which has been very, very good support recently for Boeing. Like the 174 levels held for a while, but that's a failed break at 180 if I've ever seen one. If you can't carry through that again today, got to look short here on Boeing. And I say that, having bought some Boeing shares in the 160s and thinking that it was looking really good after earnings.
Yeah, I mean, I think Boeing still is looks good. This stock to me looks interesting, and you just talked about LMT. I just want to talk about, if I can just zoom this back out here and get the 200 period moving average. We talk about this 50 period moving average on the daily all the time, and you could see right here, this is a perfect example of a kind of charts that you want to look at. So maybe we go to a little bit of charting school just quickly. What you're doing is you're basing here off the 50 period moving average, right? You could have broke either way on this, but it shows up. So then you break higher right here at 475, right? That's the long. I mean, you go long right here with protection of the 200 period and the 50 period moving average. Then you enjoy this whole move up. Where you get out is up to you. You may get nervous in here if that breaks. You might have taken something off the table at 560. That's a $100 winner right there, 25%. Then it bumps up even higher after that. Then all of a sudden, when I guess this must have been earnings, October 22nd, then it falls right back into the 50 period moving average. If you didn't panic then you got an opportunity right there for a sale. If you didn't sell then this is what starts to happen now, because all of a sudden, everyone that had bought in this consolidation area that potentially didn't get out are now waiting for another bounce into the 50 period moving average. Well, then you come into the 200 period and then you don't hold that either. So then you get that move right back into past support. All right. Then that bounce is huge. That's a great bounce. 470, that's 10% right back up to the 50 period moving average and testing the 200 again. And then whoops, all the way back into this area. So if you want to go long LMT, I stamp it. I think it's a good spot right now to try it. You do have some good support down here. That support being 450-ish. And we talked about getting wicked out, blah, blah, blah. You're going to have to, figure out a stop area for yourself. But I'm liking these levels, 450, 460 and change. Might not be a bad opportunity to take that shot. Obviously, others are agreeing there. Comes in, up 5% today, LMT, in a space that unfortunately is probably growing. And yeah, again, I didn't look under the hoods. I don't really know what the problem is. I was just looking technically there. LMT to me makes a little bit of sense. To try along. So yeah, that's
I think
that.
it's a buy. Yeah.
Who knows? You never know what's going to happen with these stocks. But okay, so I'm going to. We both have my SIG notes out. Neil's note is out. We're going to get these out very, very soon. Joe, what are you looking at today? A more IBID or
Nvidia?
Baba. All right, he's got. I mean, he doesn't have a mic on.
Baba tagged 100.
This guy goes right into host mode. He's like starting to explain himself. But yeah, he doesn't have too much on his mind early. Alibaba is what we're looking at right there. And Alibaba is going to be the #1 name on my note as well.
99.99 is
that what it's at?
Oh, no, it's not at
right. Okay.
I have the high this morning is 99.99 on Alibaba. It hasn't actually tagged it yet. But I mean, look, with this catalyst, Qwen, if I say Qwen, I mean Qwen. It's Qwen, their AI 2.5 that outpaced DeepSeek. So like there's all kinds of levels you can work off of, like 96, 98 pre-market lows, the 100 breakout. Like I'm gonna like some Alibaba in here today. No questions asked. Got to be interested in that. It's just so much, there's so much room for this to go. The last time it rallied off this level, like we said this yesterday, it got to 120 the last time. And it was basically the same area that we're coming from. It's above the 50 period moving average. Like everything's looking pretty good for Alibaba. But it's almost 9 o'clock. Let's get back to the desk, I should say.
Real quick, couple other things of note, minor headlines. Lucid naming a new CFO. Coming back down right now. It did have a pretty good day a couple of days ago for LCID. I've actually seen 2 of those floating around here in Toronto 2 or 3 days in a row here. So there's more and more coming through for Lucid Airs. I guess it is the sedan version of that. There's one other one. Kohl's was the other one. Kohl's announcing 10% job cuts across the board for their global operations. So not really moving on that, but KSS negative on the morning right now. Let's get right into what we need to know here as we head towards the open this morning. If you haven't done so, jump down to the description of this video. As always, top link in the description will get you to the sign up page. You just need an email address. That's it. And then you get the watch list for free. Has absolutely everything you need to know in the pre-market daily. Comes right to your inbox. Okay. This is the video I was talking about earlier. If you've seen the movie Leave the World Behind, this reminded me of that instantly. So now these Model 3s, when they come off the line, go right to the parking lot. There it is. They go right to the parking lot all by themselves. No one even has to touch them. And the funny thing is they even signal when they have to turn into a parking lot. So if you've seen, you guys didn't grab that clip. I mean, we can't play the clip anyways, but there's a scene in that movie where they all end up in a giant pile at the end of a road. And I feel like that might eventually happen with this feature now on Tesla. But anyways, it's so cool what they're able to do with this now. But I mean, not really moving a lot. Tesla earnings, obviously the big story.
Yeah, I was thinking to you off camera as well. I think the fact that Elon Musk tweeted about this and they released it the day of their earnings is pretty interesting here, showing, hey, we do have some more full self-drive updates, because a lot of investors and analysts have been concerned about Elon Musk's interest in activities that are not necessarily Tesla related. So I think them showing this is a good look, definitely, for sure. In terms of estimates, we're expecting 75 cents per share for their earnings and revenue of 27.61 billion. You can check out this report and Meta and Microsoft with Neil, myself, and Sharif on our earnings party at 4 p.m. for the market recap. Yeah,
going to be a jam-packed recap show tonight. Make sure you're with us 4 o'clock tonight. Tesla guys trying to get back to the upside here so far this morning. What are we thinking?
No, it's just we can't show the clip, but if you, it's an okay movie. Like it's a creepy movie. It's an okay movie. There you go. But like, I don't want to spoil it in case you happen to watch it. But it's a pretty solid Tesla ad. Look, obviously earnings are going to be big today. The watch party, we'll go all over it. Certainly it's going to be about people are going to care about the numbers, but I think you're going to want Elon on this call because everyone wants to see his focus in there. So I think we're going to get an Elon appearance where, give us some more juice on this update. Obviously, we know what they're capable of. It's the regulatory side that I think could get benefited by the relationship that he's got now. It's a 50 period here on the daily, which we keep talking about because a lot of stocks have pulled back into it, to be honest with you. So there's it's like 394-ish, but it's just a line on a chart. I kind of look, if I was feeling bullish today, I'd be telling you 401 breakout on Tesla. Going into earnings, I like BABA for longs a little bit better, probably a lot better than I like a Tesla. So this is going to be a more wait and see and play it over under here at the 401. Like if it's over 401, there's a lot of room for this to start squeezing up. And then that 50 period at 394. It's just a line on a chart as far as I'm concerned. Like I know that there's some resistance here in the 400, 401 spot because we saw it. Like after the NASDAQ plunge day, it was resistance in the afternoon. It was a double top yesterday. So we know that level is at least good here on Tesla. Slightly down. Oh, and there's another name. Usually talk about this in conjunction. Rivian might give up 12 here. It's possible. We're getting close. We're at 1240. The 200 period is sitting right in there, and it's a bit of a flat bottom break. It could be a tomorrow thing. I just have this one on the radar. I was looking for it to maybe break this out above 13 at some point. Unfortunately, you could see this break the 12 level. So got to have it on the radar. It's not on the list because there's not really a catalyst that's huge that would take it down there. But any time a stock like this finds a support level and loses it, well, it hasn't been doing well for a while. Let's put it that way.
I'm just getting some orders set up for Apple right here. All right, so yeah, I almost put Tesla on the watch today because of the movement that it's been having, right? I mean, it's down today. The market just turned green right now. Tesla's getting a little bit of a bump, but not much of one. You're underneath the 200 period moving average. So generally speaking, I like the short, but I just think there's too much uncertainty again about all the earnings coming through. So I'm not sure it's going to do too much. And there's not, I mean, Brendan went over the story. There's not too much to like or to hate about any of the news right now around Tesla. So I think just everyone waits for earnings. And I mean, sans another kind of a catalyst today, we have, I'll go get one. Yeah, I'll get one after. Thanks. Neil just asked about a coffee there. I'm going to go get one. Okay, but anyways, what I was going to say is you're still in the middle here. Obviously, I think if you're going to take a shot, you might as well look to 400. We talked about that yesterday right at the close, and we had some opportunities to get that level, and that was a great trade. And you could just wait for things like that to develop, right? I mean, obviously in the middle of the day, you do get this pushback right into yesterday's support level of 387. That happens right there at noon. You can't really expect that. And that was a launching spot. And then the short came into play again from past days. And that was a nice spot to go to the downside. So in just looking at these charts, I still feel like you're kind of in the middle here on Tesla. Wouldn't surprise me if we have a midday. So I didn't put it anywhere. We'll just sit around, see if Tesla wants to move. And if it does, I think you just fade this top and buy that dip at 387. So yeah, for me, Tesla, I mean, I like the story. I'm still long the stock. It's an earnings beat, I think, today. But again, as Neil mentioned, will Elon be on the call? Where will this go? What will be the next topic? Will they focus on AI? Will they focus on, the full self-drive? What's coming next? What about robo-taxi? There's so many questions about Tesla here that I think the earnings call is going to be great and easy to watch and fun to listen to. Like, that's what they are. So a lot of people are interested in Tesla. I'd say sit on your hands for today unless we get an extreme move.
Odds are he's in his plane, connected via Starlink to the earnings call tonight. No, I mean, we sat here a year ago. Sean, was it a year ago, I think, or maybe more? And we were talking about that video in China that was showing the factory was spitting out a Model 3 every 30 seconds or so, or 20 seconds, I think it was, something like that.
Gosh.
And now they can do that, and it doesn't even need a person to take it to the parking lot. So yeah, the efficiency is just insane. Anyways. Nvidia here, 2.3% now downside. I mean, after what happened yesterday, huge recovery. If you missed it, held that low from 2 days ago out of the gate, and then we just ripped all day long. 130 ends up being the top here this morning, already back to 126. We'll get to Alibaba in a second here, possibly dethroning DeepSeek if you haven't heard already, but Nvidia down.
Interesting here, a lot of these semiconductors are following ASML and having slight gains. We've got AMD, Micron, SMC all up about 1 to 2%, but Nvidia to the downside. So also reading here comments from Nassim Taleb, who is the author of Black Swan. That's that book about market uncertainty. And he actually said that the Nvidia seems like less of a black swan, but mostly maybe just a sign that DeepSeek could overtake even a little bit more, and this could just be the start. So a little bit ominous there for NVDA. And again, this is the only chip name that is sharply red. It's very distinctly different from the rest of what we're seeing in the sector. So I think that's an interesting look. The start of a pretty wild day with the Fed on watch as well. Yeah,
I mean, not much of a bounce here yet, guys, for Nvidia.
Yeah, so I think you had a great bounce yesterday, and I mean that rebound of 7%. I mean, look, there's two ways of talking about this, especially with this Alibaba news now, and then with DeepSeek. It seems like it's getting cheaper to make some of these models, but they're all building on top of each other. They're building on top of Anthropic. They're building on top of ChatGPT, which are all run with NVIDIA high-end chips. So I think that there's obviously two ways of looking at it. It does make the space maybe more affordable for other entrants to come in and start building and making AI even bigger than what it is right now, because it's the ease now of access to some of these chips might come down. I mean, the cost of capital here, you can either get older NVIDIA chips or maybe start building on others like an AMD. You're seeing that upside today. So the worry is always going to be in NVIDIA because it's the darling, right? And I just think, like, as we go, it's minted millionaires. It's been up hundreds of thousands of % in the last couple years. So is there going to be a point where eventually it tries to get knocked off its throne? I think it's basically happening a little bit right now, but you're not that far away from all-time highs right now on NVIDIA. But when you're looking at this chart here today, let me zoom this back out so we get that dramatic drop. We were just at 143, which was $10 away from an all-time high on the most valued company in the world, $3 trillion. And we were $10 away from an all-time high. Then we get news of something that we already knew existed. Like, you don't think Jensen and all these guys, Zuckerberg and all this, knew about DeepSeek, that this was happening? Obviously, this is not something that CNBC broke the story or Wall Street Journal. So I just think it came into the mainstream. Everyone got worried for good reason. I mean, now there's questions now about where are the future orders coming from, because if you could now build cheaper and on older models, then yeah, it makes sense not to get those Blackwell and spend the hundreds of millions of dollars. But you still need the software. There's still a play here for NVIDIA. So as I look at this 5-minute chart, people are asking me, these are all SMAs. So I use SMAs. So the blue is going to be a 200 and the pink is going to be a 50 period SMA right now. I don't actually have view up on a 5-minute chart because I just use them on my 1 minute. I could add it for when we do this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, that 125 right now, it's looking like if it wants to slip through that, maybe we do get into 122 today and right back into this breakout level that we had yesterday. So I'm thinking Nvidia being down 3%, we probably take that 125 short. Yesterday we hit that 120 short. It was glorious all the way down to that bottom again, and then you were down 4 points only to go rip up 10. So I think we could have something similar today without that rip up 10. I think you can go down 4, bounce around and settle somewhere in here, and then we wait for Fed. So for me, I think that that's a short breaking through 125 to the downside. So we'll probably take that. And if I'm liking short, then we got to play shorts on a rip back up here into 128, 129. So for me right now, unfortunately, although I bought Nvidia at 120, I have to double check that price. But whatever it was down there on Friday, or on Monday, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was always going to be just an add to the portfolio. And I think that if you are nervous hands right here, I could see some people coming in and selling this. But Nvidia is just one part of the story. There's so many more names. Like Intel comes on Thursday, Neil, and they're going to start to announce maybe that CEO, maybe a plan of action, talk more about the foundries, talk more about maybe some more funding coming their way. I'm excited for Intel.
Yeah, when you sit down, I was like kind of looking at the prior, like yesterday was looking at the prior low from December, and then today was looking at the prior low from mid-January on the 13th, and it kind of felt like, okay, well, there's your little double top and little fail to break here, and you've got a consolidation level, and you just short underneath it. Well, now we're at $125, so you may be moving the targets a little bit. I do want to be fading, and I am bearish today. I do want to be fading it. It's a little frustrating because I think starting, you can't use 120. I'm not using 129, shorting it off of any of these levels. So when you come back in here, you look at like a VWAP, and this 127 level could be the adjustment area on a pop if we're not able to get up into that 129 zone. But I'm thinking fade today. Let's not get too crazy about it. And then Marvell, it's at the 105 that we were playing yesterday for the short area. So this is a little bit more reasonable. I also, if we had an update, I was shorting this at $110, and I think I already mentioned that. But yeah, just even at this yesterday's highs on Marvell, if it fails to break this out and Nvidia's too far gone, this would be my sympathy play in the semi space. I'm looking at, again, 2 days in a row, it's just Nvidia and Marvell, and I'm not bullish on either one of them.
To Apple here real quick, actually. Shout out to our friends over at Worksport. We have a new potential crypto play to tell you about. WKSP. Making their initial purchase of both Bitcoin and Ripple. I was just double checking on this, reading a little bit down in the press release. It doesn't actually say the amount, but it does say a quote unquote 6-figure purchase of both Bitcoin and Ripple for Worksport. So WKSP, shout out to them. Apple here, back on watch here this morning. Oppenheimer with the downgrade. 237 was a little bit of support in the pre-market. That's come and gone a long time ago, 1.4%. This thing was up huge yesterday.
Yeah, Apple here, it's interesting. The thing that saved it over the last few days, which was this lack of development in AI, seems to be part of why Oppenheimer downgraded it today, saying that they're concerned that Apple's current AI or Apple Intelligence updates are not really enough to drive significant upgrades to other iPhone models. The other thing here that they mentioned as well was that they're concerned about Apple in China. We know that there were some reports of a declining market share for iPhones and for Apple in China. The other really interesting thing here is they actually removed their price target. So they did not set a new price target, but their former price target of $250 has been removed. They no longer think Apple's in a position to be an outperforming stock at the current space. So I think that's really interesting, especially a day ahead of their earnings report, which is set for after the bell tomorrow alongside Intel.
They've never been the leader when it comes to launching new technology, but it seems like they are a little bit behind with this and the speed at which they're coming out. Just worth a note here, Worksport started to go there. It's a little bit delayed, but 102 right now for WKXP. Again, if you missed it, Sean, Worksport buying both Bitcoin and Ripple.
Yeah, hold that dollar level. Worksport. I'm going to answer a question about GoEV in a second, but let's just get to Apple first here. Look, the 200 period and in the 50 period moving average are hugging Apple kindly as we speak. So, you know, we were talking about the bounce here the last couple of days and the continuation. Well, I think you got the move, and whether you slap a downgrade or not, 240 seems like resistance. This is kind of like Nvidia in some regards, in that you know, when you sit down, it looks a heck of a lot more realistic that you're going to get some plays off a level like 239 or 240. Well, now that doesn't seem very realistic at all. So I think if you're being bearish into that level, you've got VWAP, the pre-market showed you 236 as well. You've fallen so far here that it's obviously changed what it looked like when you sat down or when you were looking at it overnight or whatever that might be. Now, I know we talked a lot about shorts. I still kind of like Amazon to the long side, certainly relative to all of these other names. They have held the breakout of this 52-week high at 236. Like, you still have a nice little bull flag forming. So you got the 238 support underneath, and then you got 242 potential breakout. So in terms of big cap tech names, I know every single one we've talked about, we've kind of had a bearish tone on it. Oh, I mean, grip it and rip it. All you got to do is hold the 238 off the open, and I want Amazon longs again. But Apple, no. You know, it's a good 2-day run. It's been long pretty well for a couple of days, and it feels like it's coming to an end, at least a temporary one.
Go a couple free resources out. We have the watch list. You can go get that. A lot of you have already had it. We also have here at Trader TV Research a new handle as well that I wanted to bring that up. And then I have the sticky note out right now. And I'm just saying the same kind of thing right there. 235 to 236 short. I also have Amazon on here as a long at 237. But we talked about why we like Apple there. Downgraded ahead of earnings. Plus, it rejected. And I put on here SMA for everybody. The 50-period SMA on the daily. So for me, and again, thank you for everybody continuously supporting that sticky note. I mean, it's been really fun. Honestly, I have like 500 of them right here. I was thinking about doing something with them. But anyways, okay, so there's the 50-period moving average. It's been a huge run, as Neil said, just in the last couple of days. Really on not much. We're coming into earnings season now with Thursday, just a day away. So we'll see them tomorrow after market. And I just would rather, again, if you've bought this name off the 200-period moving average, which, again, we talked about high-quality names, 200-period moving average, those are buying opportunities, then there you go. I can't remember what that example was we had earlier. Was the same thing. Maybe it was LMT we talked about, and there was another one that bounced off the 200 right up into the 50 again. So that's starting to get rejected, and I want to be short here until we hear about those earnings. I'm bullish on Apple in general, but you fade back out. So I wrote down 235. The problem is right now, the market did bounce off that low, and although Apple had this move right there, there's 235. So this is the area that I'm thinking about shorting. So we're coming into there now. We're only 10 minutes away from the imbalance. So I actually have my offer at 235 quarters right now to go short right into here. Watch out for 236. If 236 breaks, that's going to be the 200-period moving average. Then I think, whoops, we're out of there. So on that kind of a break, we're gone because it'll be above VWAP. It'll be above the 200-period moving average. I like the short idea right now because it's red, but we've seen Apple rip, uncontrollably on nothing, and that could happen again here today. So I'm just going to wait for it to settle down. But for right now, 235 will start the short. At 236, we'll be short. And then we'll have to watch out wherever these VWAP and 200 periods are because we're going to watch out for that 236 level. Cut your short if it's wrong. And I think 236 is a good spot to make that decision.
Here's the other side of this AI story this morning. If you missed it, Alibaba late yesterday coming out with Qwen 2.5 Max, which has completely, dethroned DeepSeek V3 already. I mean, 2 days down the road here comes Alibaba. There is no mention in this story on the costing. Remember, the biggest part of the story with DeepSeek was they did it all on 6 million, apparently. And outdated Nvidia chips. So Alibaba didn't really talk about how much this cost, but already beating DeepSeek.
It's interesting, though, not in every metric. Alibaba posted this graphic themselves, or their Qwen account did anyway, and the Qwen 2.5 Max, their new model, is the red bars here. Basically, they did outperform in this Arena Hard benchmark. They also outperformed in Live Bench. And I guess they outperformed DeepSeek here in all these metrics, but GPT-4 is still outperforming a lot of them. However, Llama, Meta's model, underperforming in all 5 metrics. So I think that's a pretty interesting note. Regardless, though, as you mentioned, I think because DeepSeek was the success was so reliant on what they said the cost was, with Alibaba not saying the cost, this could be a bit of an issue later down the line, perhaps. But yeah, it's a great look here for Qwen 2.5 Max, and they also promised that their next Qwen update is going to be even better because they've improved their post-trading rituals or metrics, I guess. So interesting stuff.
Yeah, Gemini not on there, which is interesting. Claude 3.5. I've been kind of going back and forth between Claude and Gemini 2.0. But yeah, I don't know. What is the one in the middle there?
The one in the middle is Llama, which is definitely the underperformer in every metric by a pretty good margin as well.
So another day, another AI model here.
Boo, Llama. Just very quickly here, there's a bit of a buyer here on Alibaba at 98.50, and I can tell you this order has been in there for like well over an hour and a half. It was 430. It was 435. Now down to like 420. And they're taking, it looks like they're taking the bids here at 98.5. I think you want to see that resolve out here. Obviously, Alibaba has been doing pretty well the last couple of days. This is what happened when the announcement was launched. I like a grip and rip if it can hold the 28 level, and especially that buyer at 28.5. I like the trend on Alibaba. You've broken 50, 200, and you're above local resistance here at 94, and then again at 96. Even if you lost 98, I'd probably still take a reversion shot at the 96 level. And the high is 99.99. So on my note, I'm like 3 ways to play it. And the first shot I'll take is off 98. If we lose that, I'd probably take one more shot in the gap at 96 for a reversion over under and a 100 break. You know, those are going to be pretty simple. I'm not looking at any sympathy plays because this is specific to Alibaba. So there's not even a Chinese name that I'm interested in otherwise.
I'm just going to tweet this out because I actually was listening to something yesterday, and this chatbot arena is actually pretty cool. It's like a crowdsourcing, and they give confidence scores, and there's votes, and there's different models here, and you could scroll down and just see, here's the confidence, the average win rate, all this kind of stuff, battle counts when they, so this is pretty cool. I think it's somewhat basic. I just have to go through it. So I just tweeted it out right now, the website. But look what's winning right here. Gemini, Chat, and then DeepSeek, right? And then more Gemini. And then as you go down, I don't know what these are, but there's Grok all the way here. There's Claude down there as well. So I don't even see Anthropic. There's Llama, Meta. So you can see here that basically right now we're dominating with Google and Chat. So far it's still Google and OpenAI. And then there's DeepSeek, which is what's getting everybody all nervous because they rocket up there out of nowhere, competing against hundreds of billions of dollars right there. DeepSeek coming in ahead of Grok and everybody like that. So I just tweeted that out. That's not a horrible, it's called Chatbot Arena. It's not, again, I haven't really vetted it. I heard about it, called it out right now, looked at it. You can go on my Twitter machine to find that out. Yeah, and then just on that talk right there, I saw Neil put it in the chat as well. More open source, I guess, something for Google right now, and that's starting to get back up to the upside. That name looks like it also wants to take $200 at some point again, and when it does, this time I think it goes for real. So that high is only 202. So again, Google holding that 50-period moving average right there pretty nicely. We'll see if it wants to break through. I'm not even sure what stock we were on. Have we done the Alibaba?
That was
story?
Alibaba. We're going Alibaba.
Oh, we're going to Alibaba next? Or
no, we just did.
We
Yeah,
just did it. Okay, so for me, for Alibaba, again, there's the 200-period moving average. It is my number one idea today on the sticky note is Alibaba to go long 98. They're getting that AI boost. It could fade off that $100 mark that I was saying. If 97 breaks, that's my out. So there's Alibaba. 98, 97 is my out. So yeah, I'm already bidding down there. We almost got filled, actually. I was at 98 quarters, so we almost got filled there. I'm at 98.15. So, it came back in. I like that level. Here's 97. That's kind of where we closed yesterday. If we break that, I don't even really want to test it. Something's wrong. I'll take $1 hit on Alibaba. But for today, it's the number one idea. I feel like, boom, right to the upside, breaking out on the 5-minute chart. Everything's looking good to me for Alibaba. And again, there's the fade off 100. So that could also be a huge break level. If the market starts to rally and Alibaba goes, maybe we break that. Just quickly on FXI, I just want to check to see if there is anything on FXI. We've had a nice rebound in this space, obviously in China, as many of these names start to go upside. And this chat this chart looks exactly like Alibaba, actually, making that move right back up to. We last got out of Alibaba at 117, held a little bit, and may get a chance again, which I never thought. But that would be something similar to this, like $33, $34 on FXI. Great bounce again. Look, an ETF that we said had a chance because, again, when there's blood in the streets and everybody's worried about China, maybe that's when it's time to bounce. I mean, this is when Trump took office. This is Jan 13th, actually, as the bottom there, right? And boom, obviously that's not the day, but there it goes up to the upside. Nice rebound there on China, up about 20% in is that 20%? Sorry, no, 29 bucks, $3. Sorry, 10% there in about a week and a half. So FXI, something on watch with Baba News.
Just watching DJT here, guys, just worth a note, trying to get back to 34 once again, a little bit more volume coming back in for DJT after that story, if you missed it earlier. Let's talk some Starbucks here, 3%. I don't think that was live. We just saw Brian Nichol on CNBC. I don't think that was actually live, but it's coming off 104 once again, which was a resistance point after the close yesterday. Nice beat here, though, for Starbucks. Lots of analysts liking this, too.
They did beat, and I think it's worth noting, too, though, year over year, there were some declines, but I mean, we were kind of expecting that given the state that Starbucks has been in as of late. Basically, they did beat here on EPS and sales, but we had a 4% decline in comparable store sales and a 6% decline in comparable transactions. So they did have an increase here in their average ticket price. They did also here have some increases in membership. So not everything was bad in terms of the actual top and bottom line numbers. GAAP earnings of 69 cents per share, above estimates of 66 cents. Sales of $9.398 billion versus $9.316 billion expected. And we did have Brian Nichol emphasize their back to Starbucks plan. Earlier here, I believe in early January, he did issue a note here to some people in the company saying that there will probably be some cuts heading into March, specifically in the higher end here. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But Starbucks apparently looking for price cuts as well, part of its back to Starbucks plan, getting some upgrades and some positive notes from Wedbush and Barclays.
Yeah, still $7 for a flat white at Starbucks. 100, I mean, we gave that all back after the close yesterday, guys, but 100 ended up holding.
Yeah, you know what? It is what it is. Between Boeing and Alibaba and Boeing and Nvidia and Marvell, Apple, there's just not enough to look at Starbucks today. It would be much better. Like, it's actually at 103 right now with a bit of a spread, but you kind of wanted it holding above this level to make a run at the highs, and it's only now getting back to it. Like, broke, came back, rallied into it, came back, and there's your 103. That's the prior high. So that's the good over-under spot on Starbucks. I just feel like you have to wait for this one to settle out. I famously remind myself of a morning after earnings on Starbucks. It was Arun and myself. I liked a long, he liked a short. We both took it at the open. It doesn't make, eventually the long one, but it whipped out both sides of the trade aggressively at 9:30. I'm like, yeah, after that, this is the kind of stock that I'll let settle down for like 15 minutes and then try to join a trend and try to make one.
I don't think so, Hamster. Right here, Tim Hortons beating, I mean, that's obviously not how to spell Hortons. I don't know if it's a joke, but beating Starbucks in mainland China. I didn't even know if there was Tim Hortons in China, but maybe there is. Maybe there isn't. I have no idea. But I actually have, I know Neil doesn't really have Starbucks too much on the radar, but for me today, it is on the radar. It's down, for me, down at $100. I think that's going to be a cute, opportunity down there to get in. I mean, you could break that 200 period moving average right now. I was debating getting some bids right here, but as this market comes back in right now, you got to be careful with it. The NASDAQ had a nice move up, and Starbucks is fading out. So I'm going to watch out for that $100 mark to come in on Starbucks. It is the this is what I was looking for, sorry. It is the 5-minute chart, the 200 period moving average, just where we closed yesterday, $100. So we will figure that out very, very soon. All right, so what's on the imbalance? And people asking, we only have 2 minutes now. Alibaba's a bid there. Nvidia was, I saw someone ask, Nvidia was a bid, but it's been paired off. I don't even see it anymore. So there's nothing of interest on there it is. Was just there. I think that maybe it went into a sell. But at the end of the day, doesn't seem to be too much on the imbalance locator. With only a minute and a half left, Nvidia is going upside right now. So we had talked about possibly taking a short on that 125 break. So that could be something there to look at early. I don't know. I'm not in love with like an instant crazy move today. Yesterday, I really liked that 120 breakdown because there was so much hype around it. We just lost 17% the day before. I'm not sure about what to do on Nvidia. That's why it's not really on the radar now. The thing that I'm looking at is Apple, and oh boy, our 235 that we said we liked was the short right there. We just didn't want to take it in the pre-market. So let's put an order a little more aggressively, as it looks like we might be right here on Apple, just was not the right time. So we'll see if it does bounce back up. I'm going to put an order right now, 334.75 or so for Apple, see if we get that fill rate off the jump. So what I'm doing, I'm bidding Alibaba low, 98. I'm offering Apple to try to get short. I'm bidding that Starbucks, and I do have Amazon. Oh, I know you talked about it, but
Amazon. I still like Amazon off 238. Oh, quickly, GoEV is on the OTC. If you're wondering where it went, GoEV is gone. It is now on the OTC markets. If you're looking to trade it, of course, they could be potentially going bankrupt. But let's get this Fed day, earnings day, Qwen day locked and loaded with the opening bell. Adara in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go.
All right.
Open.
Yeah, we're going to, I'm going to buy, I think, a little bit of Alibaba if we do break above $100. Amazon ripping to 240. Wow, okay. Huge move there for Amazon. Alibaba, it just looked at $100. Let's just see what's going on here. It hasn't even opened yet. So there's been no no New York open yet on Alibaba.
Yeah, it's definitely
I just had really slow execution there because Apple came in real late there. Okay, so here we go. 235. We said this is where we're going to try to go short here on Apple. So this is where we are, man. 235.25. We like this short. We said we were a little bit early on it, and now it came in. So let's take it. We'll take another bit there. I just took some more right here, right now. My average price is right here. Let's see if Apple wants to go. We also want something up here at 236. If we can get that short, we're wrong at 237 right now for Alibaba. For Apple. So here goes a nice little short for us. Neil, it's already a 60-cent winner right there, but you got to get out. It's just bouncing back a little bit here for Apple. So an early short here for AAPL. And oh boy, it's starting to print for us right now. Apple, let's see if we can get something out at this 50 period.
Yeah, I'm same with you. I got a little bit of a slow acknowledgement of orders, but we just broke 126 downside, and I'm going to be adding to this in front of VWAP. Oh, I'm talking about Nvidia. My order's out on Alibaba. Actually, I'm going to double check that in a second. My order's out for the breakout at 100 on Alibaba.
Or position board.
And what's going on with the position? Okay, they're working on the position board, everybody. But Boeing goes for the over on the over-under 180. So no short for me on Boeing as it immediately blows it out to set upside. Where are you, Alibaba? All right, Alibaba's still not open. This was the one that we really wanted, and why are they not opening the stock? So I'm sitting bid 98, breakout 100 on Alibaba. It's kind of in the middle of the range here, so I want to be ready in either direction, whatever it decides to do on Alibaba. We're going to try to jump into that trade. Like I said, guys, they're working on the position board. We'll get it to you. I'm only in Nvidia short here off of this 126, and Alibaba is still trying to figure itself out. Give it a heartbeat. I actually still haven't even seen an opening print here. I don't know if you have. It's not open, I don't think.
No, wow, there's no volume candle there for that. Yeah. No, so no. All right, a little bit. Late. I'm going to get another piece out here. 234. If we can get a 234.70 or 234, 75. Let's get out of 5% more. If we do dip down again to that 50-period moving average or so, more on Apple because the market's really tanking right now. And here goes Apple. Okay, 50 cents in the money. There it goes to the downside. We apologize for the position board. I don't know if it was working in the pre-market or not, but for right now, I'm only short Apple. Right there. So I could get involved in this Nvidia short. I'm not sure the Apple short is good anymore. It just, the market's coming in nicely as we predicted, and Apple's not tanking. We've taken profit, so it's fine. But right now, here comes Nvidia looking to break that pre-market low of 125.40. I think that's a good level maybe to get short here on NVDA.
Yeah, it's starting to fall. I mean, my eyeballs are on Alibaba because I feel like the second there is a volume spike, you're going to get one of the two fills regardless here, but it is what it is. It's still hanging in the middle of the range. I'm trying to get some shares here up at the hump at 126.5 on Baba, and we'll see if we're able to tag them. As far as Boeing goes, Boeing is now actually very strong above the 121, sort of 181 level. And Amazon, the other name that we liked, it does not hold on to the bid, but it's right at that 238. So Amazon looking a little different from yesterday. I need to see it hold the 238 level before I just immediately jump into a long. I don't want to be catching falling knives if I'm bearish. Want to see confirmation that the bid's coming in, Adara.
We have a couple things to keep an eye on here. VF Corp popping up here on my volume scanner. They actually had a really great earnings day one move so far off the open, beating on GAAP EPS and sales. The other earnings name here that we had on watch from actually last night, we had Starbucks, SBUX here. They're also pretty strong to start the day. Also, keep an eye on Microsoft here. Bloomberg reporting that Sam Altman, the CEO of Microsoft-backed OpenAI, is planning on visiting India next week. We know that Sam Altman also teased yesterday on X that there are going to be some big announcements for Microsoft and OpenAI. So keep an eye on this ticker ahead of its earnings tonight, guys. Back to you.
Thank you,
Earnings
Adara.
bonanza.
Yeah, that's what it should be. Join Neil, Adara, and Sharif tonight. Okay, so just real quickly, I shorted at Nvidia right here, basically. We're short at 126. We will get, again, the position board crashed right off the open, so we'll get that going. I'll just tell you my positions right now. We are short Nvidia right here at 126, and we are short Apple nicely up here at 235.30s. So we'll wait to see if this one wants to go. We have taken some profit on Apple twice. Great levels to take some profit at the 50-period moving average. I do think we go lower because it hasn't done anything right now. If it catches up with the NASDAQ, we could be in for a decent move, but it seems like it's relatively strong according to the market. So I'm going to put out 5% more here at 235, see if we get that. Nvidia is a very, very slippery slope. We said that. I don't think past 128, I mean, that 129 is a huge level. I don't really want to be in that too much if we get going, but I don't mind shorting also ahead of 128. So I think 128 will be my eventual out there on Nvidia if we're wrong. So let's average this up into 127 right now on Nvidia. There goes Apple. So we will, again, now the market's starting to get upside. So we'll short more Apple here at 26. And then we had mentioned if we blow through this level, then yeah, no thank you. Here comes Apple right back down in again. Good little average in up there at the at VWAP. So all right, over to Adara.
Keep an eye on RIOT here. That is going to be Riot Platforms. There are some reports here that D.E. Shaw, which is a hedge fund focused on technology stocks, apparently D.E. Shaw reportedly taking a position in Riot. So Riot may be getting some hedge fund interest here. A little bit of volume on this ticker, guys. Back to you.
So we're open on Alibaba now. Right, position board's still down. So long on Alibaba, it just wicked the 98 level. So if we look, if this is a fall through the low, got to make sure that we're getting out if it wicks the bottom. Look, we like that 98 level. It took forever for them to open this stock up, and they're opening it to the downside. So if we break the fresh low underneath, I'm going to jump out of this. I'm short Nvidia, short Marvell, but we are long. Oh, wow, baby. Now Alibaba's heading to the upside there. So little spike. Come on. Where is this quote? It just spiked. You saw me get filled there at 44. Took a fill at 30s. We'll see if we can hold on to the low. The other names that we got are Nvidia short at 126.17. All right, I got to go to the black chart. 126.17 is where we're headed back into the downside. Get 125.5s if we can get it one more time in here. And see if we can play it down into the 125 level. All you know what could break loose if we lose the 125 here on Nvidia. So got to watch out for this Baba long at 98, short Marvell 104.5. That's 50 cents in the money, and Nvidia short 126.17.
That's really pretty.
And that's now flushing to said downside.
There it is. Yeah, good price there by Neil. We have 126 short on Nvidia. We just got covered up there. So there we go. Now we're starting to break even lower. We actually just took more shares on that break of Nvidia. We talked about trying to do that. So that is what we wound up doing right there. We're short now at 90s, but we have more shares now than we did previously. So let's wait to see what happens now with Nvidia. Maybe that short rate there was not right, the 125.50, but we did have 126.70 there. So giving us a little bit of a better average price, but it did just We just executed into that 125.50. I actually, I mean, we have more shares than I thought we would have at this point because of that. But at the end of the day, I'm starting to get a little bit out right now as our average price now is right here. So let's wait to see what winds up happening. We are long. I mean, we wrote down on the sticky note 98 long for Alibaba. So we're long 98. It does spike up to 98.50. We'll see about getting some out, but I really think that this name could run. We're 3 for 3 now, and we are huge right now on the show. I wish the board was up. It will get up right now. They are working on it. Thank you, Fabian A. All, for that. Here we go. Apple. We're short Apple. Bang! Right now. We're 3 for 3 right now. We're long Alibaba, 20 cents in the money. We're short Apple, 30 cents in the money. We're short Nvidia, 30 cents in the money. But this can change very rapidly. The market is really
volatility.
Dancing here. Yeah, volatility is king. And right here, Alibaba, I do have an offer to get out at 50. I think I'm going to put one out right now, capture some kind of a move. And there it is, man. Nice little face slapper. As right here today, as we had printed out, all the trades coming through. So far, so good here. We just need Nvidia, man. If this one tanks, then oh boy.
Oh boy is correct. The only other position I have that's different is going to be Marvell, short underneath 104, and 104.5 is view up underneath 105. This is starting to work its way back into the downside. Alibaba just had a bit of a hiccup at 98.5 again, but it looks like we're clearing through that. Let's get into 99. Yes. Next offer is going to be at 99 or in front of 99, and then see if we can press higher. Nvidia is still chilling. This was the first one I got into, and then it came right into VWAP. And when it got into VWAP, it's like, okay, we're going to short VWAP. We're going to hold for a 125. If it breaks 125 every dollar, then we'll look for a mean reversion style play. So it's still not up. Short Marvell, short Nvidia, long Alibaba, and Amazon. Amazon does not hold the bid. It's actually still stair-stepping to the downside. So I need to see a rounded bottom here on Amazon. It just went red to green green to red, and then back into barely the green. Still looking a little bit weak. That's not what I wanted to see off the open on Amazon. I was looking for it to hold the low and go. So no need to jump in front of a falling knife there on AMZN. Let's go Nvidia. Yeah, let's go to Adara.
Let's go everything.
Keep an eye on SGN if you're looking for a small cap on the move today. Signing Day Sports announcing here they've executed the stock purchase agreement to acquire the majority of capital stock of Swifty Global, which is a gambling or betting related company here. So SGN acquiring the majority of Swifty Global through capital stock. It's worth noting this thing has a very small float, about 620,000 shares from what I was seeing. 18% short float. So massive short float, very small float for SGN. Back to you.
Massive. Thank you, Adara. Right now, Nvidia, we're getting more fills right here at 125.50s, 125.30, sorry. So a nice little opportunity. We're short at 125.70. Again, position board, stay with us. We're going to get that up. Alibaba, what a banger of a trade, man. I mean, this is exactly why you guys are here early. This is why, okay, now we're starting to get real spicy right now. There goes Nvidia to the bottom. This is going to be a good trade for us. We also reloaded Apple. Okay, Nvidia, nice downside play. We're going to take some more out right now for Nvidia. Let's go, man. That's going to be a good one. Ring the cash register and spin that cash around because Nvidia, nice move back into 125. And oh boy, do we have this short on right now on NVDA. A couple pushes there, and it's all good. Good outs too at VWAP, obviously for Alibaba. I think more is coming for that. We just got the Amazon long down there. I know you liked Amazon at 98, 238. Right now it's at
Nvidia's breaking.
237.
Broke.
Yeah, Nvidia, we are just cruising with that one on Nvidia. Monster trade there on Nvidia. But we are long on Amazon. Nvidia, go over to Neil because I got to deal with this Amazon
Just very
trade.
quickly, Nvidia broke 124 and we just got to 124.5. I'm going to see if we can't sneak a bit in there on Nvidia. Look, if it gets to VWAP again, we'll worry about that and cross that bridge when we get there. But this is now flushing into the downside. Alibaba, though, Alibaba just tagged VWAP. We're headed back into the low on Alibaba. So it bounced once off 98. It's trending to the downside. I need to see it bounce first before I'm jumping into this. The market is now third down and we're breaking lows. I know BABA can do its own thing, but come on, like it's actually flushing into this level. So I'm not just going to jump in front of the falling knife. The only other short I have on other than Nvidia is Marvell, which just took 104. It's still holding around VWAP. So while Nvidia is flushing $1.50 in the money, Marvell is only 50 cents in the money and trying to hold green on the day. The other thing it's holding green, AMD is holding up well. If you're watching the chips, Nvidia breaking down, AMD holding up pretty decently. I saw someone in the chat said they liked the AMD longs. So good luck to you out there. Best of luck. But Nvidia, you know, the big boy is flushing. No question about that.
Guys, I really wish the position board was working. They're working on it. We will get it up momentarily, so stay with us. Apple right here, another one. I mean, there's the short at 236, but watch out. If this breaks, man, we are out. So very, very careful. 236.20 break out, okay? Alibaba, again, so it's flushing back in. We talked about 97 being the end of it all. So we'll see what winds up happening here with Alibaba as the whole market's coming in beautifully right now for us. But Alibaba is what it is. So Amazon, again, this came in too quickly. Didn't like it, was very surprised by this move to come in. It was on the sticky note. I took some profit there, but not enough. We are red a little bit on Amazon today, as I did not want to hold this one back down through the level that we had posted. So right there, Amazon, nice downside move for us. Now we just wait for the same to happen with Apple. And what a good couple outs there. I'm glad we went over to you on Nvidia, because that cracked lower.
That was a wick bottom.
Yeah, 124.70 we got there. So pretty lucky to get some of those fills. Let's see if Nvidia retraces again. But there comes Apple. One last reload up here at 236.
So just very quickly, like Nvidia just did a bit of a bounce, but here's Alibaba. It broke that low. I said I'm not reloading it when it's falling like this. Lower high, lost VWAP. I still like 96. That's the next spot. Either I'm getting back in because it holds 98, or I'm waiting for 96. We have all seen Alibaba fill the gap before. It does this all the time. So just have to be patient for it. So there was the bounce that just happened in Nvidia. I'm still holding on, and I'm still looking for a reload in front of VWAP if we're able to get it.
Apple's huge.
And yeah, there goes Marvell. Marvell just went to the low of the day as well. So we're reloading this one off of VWAP, only in the shorts now, as apparently the Bank of Canada made an interest rate move, but who cares? Market headed downside. Hang on to your shorts. Be patient with some of these longs. Market is falling.
Okay, so here we go, man. Apple, we just cashed them out there in the 60s. We had to yell that out because Apple just came in, and we are not loving this short. So take it out when you get an opportunity to do that. Apple will basically be, I mean, again, we don't have the position board up. We're short right now at 235.99. We're getting out in 5 cents from now. Apple will be a flat stock today. There it is. Too bad. That went upside there as this market does this. We are now into our last chance here on Alibaba. It drops into 97. We said 97 is our finishing moment here. So if it does break lower than 97, we will be out of Alibaba. Our average price is 97.50 right now on Alibaba, because we're able to get out of some here, giving us the opportunity to take this right now. But here comes Alibaba really fading out right now. So DeepSeek, deep this, deep that, quell this, quell that. Right now, it is Alibaba making the move to the downside, looking to break through 97. This will be, and again, we don't have a huge amount of shares here. This will be a hit of 50 cents plus slippage, which will probably be okay, maybe 10 cents or so. We'll see what happens here at 97. There it goes. Okay, so there it goes. We have to slap to fail. That's a 50-cent hit right there on Alibaba. Nvidia possibly at a reload spot right now. I mean, we knew this market would be like this today. Pretty choppy.
It's a very, very choppy
Apple just took out the high, and now it's fading back out again. So I don't know. We'll try one more time here on Apple. I feel a little silly that we got stopped out at that very high. But hey, man, we had to follow our plan. And it wasn't a lot of shares. So at the end of the day, it's fine. But I still like that trade. I'm going to get back into it again against that 236 area for Apple.
Yeah, I just got out of Marvell. We're just going to take the profit and run. It just held the low. And here's part of the reason I want to jump in. So 125 on Nvidia just wicked the bottom and held it. And I feel like Nvidia is sometimes the futures for the chip names, at least for this one, because they were down as badly as Nvidia 2 days ago. So it came into afternoon support, wicked the low. If we get back to VWAP, I might get a reload here, but just going to jump in. We had the 104 half down into 103 half and try to keep it simple with Marvell. Let's go to Dara.
That's frustrating.
Just be aware here of the CAD USD. I have the 15-minute chart up. As you can see, we're pushing to the upside a little bit. We did actually get ahead of the American rate decision. We got the Canadian rate decision. Basically, they did cut their growth forecast, but in terms of the actual rates, they came in exactly as expected. So 25 basis point cut to 3%, in line with expectations of a 25 basis point cut to 3%. So CAD pushing higher on as expected rate announcement here, guys. Back to you.
We just got a little frustrated there because Apple now falling down like it wants to. So there we go, man. We only put on half back because we thought we could get a better price if it did move up there. So there's the stop out. We slapped a fail on that. Where's my guy Travolta? Where's my guy Travolta? We slapped a fail right there because we did get out. We were making profits on Apple until eventually it busted out. Then, okay, yes, sir. It's the face slapper. It's the money maker. It's Apple right now as that just comes right back into this bottom. So we do reshort that name. And now we're in this at 235.78. So right there, so a nice little 60-cent winner now for AAPL as Nvidia continues to rip higher right now against that 126 area. So we'll have to see what happens with Nvidia up to 127. It looks like that wants to get going as well. So right now it's Apple, really pay dirt right now. Apple getting near that dollar club again to the short side for Apple. It'll be my number one stock despite being stopped out. Okay, there it is right there. Apple just took it out again at the 50-period moving average down here at 235. When you go top to bottom, you're supposed to get out. So let's do that top to bottom right now, and let's see if that bottom gives away now as we wait for Nvidia to come back.
Yeah, and so just a quick update. I'm out of Marvell, the short. We took the profit at the low. It's bounced off that low. I'm still in Nvidia looking for the reload at VWAP, now just tagging VWAP. But Alibaba is almost at this 96 level. It closed at it closed at 96.03, so 96. But we want to see it do a kind of mean reversion. The second it took out that low, got to back off and look for another entry. Like it gave you the bounce into VWAP. We like the 98, but do not want to fight that stock. Nvidia, we are still in. I just keep glancing over to see if the position board's working.
They'll let us know.
Yeah, I know they'll let us know for sure. Nvidia just did a heck of a wick here into VWAP. I'd like to see confirmation. Close it beneath. Because we've seen this bottoming tail candle and then rip your face off rally before. And then the one other stock I was looking to get into, I'm offering Boeing in front of VWAP in the 180 level. So it did that big run, came back under, reestablished underneath the 180 level. So looking to short into Boeing here. But Nvidia is now back in the money $1. I want to get short VWAP on on Boeing again. I want to get short in front of VWAP on Marvell. And the 96 bounce we're looking for on Alibaba.
So we just got, so we lost on our Alibaba trade. It broke through 97. We got out, but it looks like now it wants to retake it. I think this could be an opportunity to potentially take some longs here. So let's do that right now on Alibaba. We're long now 97.17. I don't necessarily want to play it off of 96.50. That seems like too big of a hit. That's 96.70. That's still too big of a hit. That closing, yeah, 96.70. Okay, so I think that's reasonable, that closing bar, 96.70. So if we come back into there, we'll punch out, okay? So 96.90 or so. We'll average back in one more time. We'll put our stop 96.69 to get stopped out of that play. We'll try it one more time. Okay, Nvidia, we got the bell of the ball on that one. We'll fire off a little bit of a hot dog cannon there because we were able to get that 125 and change twice, 125.26 twice down there. So good little trade for us on Nvidia as we've been reloading into the short. The Apple short was there and we took it, but look where it bounced off of again. This is why you always have to look at your stock, bouncing off of 235 again. And we apologize if you're joining us now for the first time. We normally have our positions on the bottom. We're trying to do the best to show you guys what we're in right now. And right now I'm in this Apple short, I'm in the Baba long, and I'm in the Nvidia short. So those are the three names that I'm looking at. And I want to say a big shout out to you, Carly. Thank you so much for mentioning me in the chat there. We talked about Broadcom. I talked about it bouncing off this 205 area. Apparently you nailed that. So again, boom goes the dynamite right there on Broadcom. I say congratulations to you and props up, Carly. And thank you for the shout out in the chat. Just trying to prove a little bit that you don't have to trade all the names that we're trading. Sit here, listen to what we say, and if you're able to capitalize on that, even better. I mean, that's what it's all about. Okay.
Okay. So yeah. So hey.
Oh, I like that. I want that to be our position.
That's a
board.
way better picture.
That's a way better position board.
No, the old one is.
This
whatever.
is like.
That's,
what do you
that's
guys
the new
think?
picture. What do you guys think?
I want to crowdsource. Ramin, chat. We need a poll for this. New or old? No. Okay.
Just one update though.
Changing.
I'm out of Marvell and I'm still in Nvidia and I've not gotten back into. Yeah, there you go. Oh, you guys are doing it manually? Okay, more power to you.
I mean, 125.60 on Nvidia, I'm short.
No, I didn't realize that was being done literally manual, and you were literally typing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was telling her, don't do it. It's going to keep on changing.
Oh, and you will probably see me in and out of. There's a buyout today. So
it's working.
We are still in Nvidia, and I'm looking at BABA right here. It just did a bottoming tail. Didn't quite get to 96, but it has now broken the trend line. So if you draw a trend line there, which I don't necessarily want to do, because I might muck it up there, I'm going to look for a long. It's closed above it, but it's not a very distinct trend from here. Like, it's almost not that good of a trend line to be drawn on a 3-minute chart. So I'm going to back off from doing that. But we're only into Nvidia at 120. You guys already can see it down there, 126.43. And I'm looking for this to maybe hold this higher low on BABA. Still haven't traded Boeing yet, which is a little bit wild. Kind of thought we'd be a little more involved with Boeing. Yeah, let me just cancel those orders. Boeing now flushing through 178. This is gone. Gonna probably have to wait for like the opening range to get set on Boeing for the first, into 10 o'clock, and then we'll have to reevaluate where I want to get into Boeing. We might still get VWAP, but for now, gonna back away from Boeing.
Yeah, we're short here on Apple. We did take a decent position right now on it. I mean, it's right at our levels. We were thinking about getting some more out, so we're trying to do that now in the 80s. We're only short here at well, the price is up now, so what am I talking about? 236.10 for a nice little position here in Apple. Again, few hundred shares upside. We'll see if this thing wants to fall down and where it wants to go from here. So again, thank you so much for every single one of your patience as there it goes. Ramin definitely deserves a Starbucks, I think, after all of this. So I want to thank Rob, Fabian, Brendo, everybody. The position board appears to be working. I'm getting in and out, and it's looking fine. So, so far, so good there. Just watching out for Apple. This is my biggest position of the day by far right now for Apple. So I'm starting to get more and more out of this one, but those are the correct positions right now. Apple, big time short for me. If we can get anything near VWAP, that'd be great. We are starting to get out right now at the 200 period moving average. So there's another 79. I just put some more bids out. So let's start to get out a little bit here of that one. And oh boy, Neil, we're going to go positive hopefully here on Alibaba as Alibaba trying to make its way back upside there. And we just said, let's buy that 97. If it breaks back above, let's buy it. So we do that right now, and now it's cash money. Okay, here we go, man. We are getting real excited now, baby, because here comes Apple right down to the downside. We talked about it. We put on the risk. Apple falling out of favor right now. We're at our highest spot we've been at all day. And again, it is Sticky Note Nation standing up strong one more time, because there's the Apple short, 236, as it was written. Shout out to my guy, Nas.
That's for sure. There hasn't been anything but downside so far in the market, but we're catching a bit of a bid. I just reloaded on Marvell, and I'm going to get back into VWAP here on Nvidia as well. So these are very much, you're going to be intertwined here. Like if Nvidia breaks out, Marvell probably breaks out too. And if that happens, I just want to note that AMD is still going. For all of you looking at the long and the chips, it feels like AMD is the one. I am now, now all of a sudden the bid's looking a little bit better. Baba. So you're going to have Amazon, which has been trending down, finally starting to do a little bit of a revert. So let's see if it can hold on to the low now. Obviously, Amazon not as strong as it was yesterday. You're out and about underneath this support level at 238. Needed to close holding on to this 237 on this prior bar. But Nvidia, we actually still haven't gotten filled here at VWAP.
Yeah.
On Nvidia, where's my order at? Oh, I'm above, that's right, I'm above 126. I'm trying to catch a fill above 126 and not under 126. Currently, we're just short from here at 126.43. Maybe I should get an order in the 90s and see if we can get filled that way. So NVDA, we're looking for the reload. I'm thinking about long AMD, but it wasn't part of the plan. I don't want to jump at it just yet. But it is looking very, very strong. Oh, DJT.
Let's go.
DJT flushed off of the open. Now a bit of a rounded bottom, so it's starting to come back a little bit here.
Go on video.
It was up at $35. That was big resistance on the daily chart, but I think you got a chance here. If you can get VWAP, I'm more interested in DJT. For now, back burner.
You guys want sticky note merch? That's a little bit. I'm a little too busy for that. 235.70 right now. That would be fun though. 235.60. We'll put another bid down here. There it goes. Let's go Apple, man. We talked about this. This is an upsized position for me, so we are starting to clean this up right now. And we said this all the time yesterday, and I sort of went on that little bit of a talk about the strategy. I'm getting out here ahead of this 200 period moving average. My strategy is I get out pieces at a time because I get paid to add liquidity liquidity. So every time I'm sitting here and bidding, it's running me over. It's really just me getting out at this 200 period moving average. So if you want to wait for it, it's around 65, 66. We have some fills down there right now. So if you can't trade like that, I'm already out right now. I'm out basically of 70% of this position already because it was big time. So we're gonna now sit here, wait to see if some more wants to come back in, and we can try to make today something else. Alibaba, again, we're out of 30% of this trade right there at 97.50. So that's a little bit of a battle back right there. And then Nvidia, let's see if it can fall down. I mean, as Neil said, he was waiting a little closer to VWAP than I was. I was able to get short there at 126.12. So this dip down is going to be a good trade for us as we wait out to see what is going on. Look, I'm never going to apologize for being excited because I think I do that on purpose, right? A part of this is also a show to try to entertain you guys. I can go monotone and just be like, there's another dollar, but we're getting excited to try to show you guys that these trades are here. That's part of the game for me. I can just go into chill mode if you want. I mean, right now, like bang, there's Nvidia 50 cents. That's a good trade. And then we'll just wait to see what winds up happening with the rest of these. So here comes Nvidia 125.50. We are bidding another piece there. There it is. So we do get some out now. As you can see, it's not going to be a huge trade. I'm waiting for this thing to fall back into 125 now. So that's my next bid is 125 and change. Here comes Nvidia right there, Neil. See, so my bad, got a little excited there. Let's wind up, see what happens now. We're going to bid in the 20s, low 20s. I just bid 21. I don't know if it can do something for me or not.
Yes,
it just did. We just got it right there. So nice little downside move. We're at the highest spot that we're at all day. I may go get another coffee very, very soon. I don't want to ask Rob because he was just
well, I know he's
busy.
I know he's been a little bit busy.
Yo, Rob, you round, yo? All right, nice little move there for everything. Apple, I mean, you can see the trades on the board right now as we just sort of wrap this thing up. I'm not looking for huge moves, Neil. It is Fed day, remember.
The only thing I'm looking for now is Alibaba.
Yeah.
Because I still want to re-enter Alibaba. It's now held above the trend line. So
something's going on with Nvidia.
Oh yeah.
Nvidia was just tanking there.
No, I just saw that volume spike as well on Nvidia.
Comcast.
Something with Comcast.
CMCSA.
It's weird. When I'm talking, I can't really hear the news. But okay, so break of trend just very quickly on this new trade. Break of trend line from the morning. If it breaks prior bar low, I'm just going to jump out underneath 97.
So I panicked out.
And a quarter. Let's go to Adair for
just hold on a second.
Now.
Just wait a second. Come over here for a second. I just want to show you. So I heard Comcast. Comcast is doing nothing.
That's what
I just want to say right there, I panicked a little bit, got more out, but right now Nvidia is spinning it to the downside right now. So far, so good. It's Apple downside. Oh boy, man, we just got some great fills at VWAP right there. And then Alibaba now 40, 50 cents in the money and going higher. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day, and we have happening now our sector watch with Adair at the desk.
Story is so minor that it's not even tagged. It is an Nvidia story on Benzinga. I found it when searching Comcast. Basically, right at 10 a.m. here, Comcast announced that it's introducing the nation's first ultra-low lag Xfinity internet experience with Meta, Nvidia, and Valve. That is the story, and yeah, pretty small catalyst there. S&P 500 trying to maybe go flat here. Right now, we're down about 0.15%. Then we have the NASDAQ down exactly the same amount, pretty much slightly more. We're going to be having the Fed on watch at 2 p.m., and a lot before that is just going to be waiting for these markets to react to the FOMC decision. We are expecting there will be zero rate change that is widely priced in, so we'll have to wait and see if we get what we're expecting there. Then we'll have comments half an hour after the decision at 2:30 p.m. Eastern with Fed Chair Jerome Powell, and the excitement does not end there because we have tons of earnings after the close. But in terms of stocks to watch today, ahead of the FOMC hoopla, we do have Alibaba on watch here, BABA. This one yesterday afternoon basically announcing that they have their new Qwen 2.5 Max AI model, which outperforms GPT in some of the metrics, and it actually outperforms DeepSeek in every metric. So BABA here trying to catch a bit back to the upside. Starbucks, a little bit of a flag formation here, beating on earnings per share and beating on earnings per share and sales in their earnings report. But a lot of their revenue in their segments was down on a year-over-year basis. So SBUX, ASML, and TMUS are also two of their day one's earnings plays. With that, back to you.
Thank you very much there, Adara. We'll go over.
Look at Baba.
That news was nothing, unfortunately. But I think you're catching a big bounce in the market here. The ES is about to go into the green any second now. I jumped out of Marvell and look at it go. Okay. So we had it short off VWAP. We'll still be up. The initial short was obviously the best one. The VWAP, not going to work. We keep it tight, and now all of a sudden you're green. Probably going to jump on over to AMD at some point. I was not thinking longs on Marvell. Alibaba waited for it to finally revert the trend. So it held the trend line. Probably could have had it here, but we ended up with the break here at the 60 level, playing it back into VWAP. It rejected VWAP before, so we're going to wait for VWAP again and take our profits. Still, of course, involved in Nvidia, because Nvidia does not seem to want to. Well, you know what?
Nvidia not playing.
It doesn't seem to want to get to VWAP just yet, but we do have a pretty distinct trend here on Nvidia as well. Obviously, the short is still looking good, but a lot can change rather quickly. When we are ready, if you guys let me know. Hey, oh, okay. No, you guys let me know. So basically, it's just still Alibaba and still Nvidia, and I am keeping tabs on DJT. If you're just tuning in now, there was a story here. They're going into the fintech game, potentially investing in crypto and other ETFs, nice. So they said. So obviously this one's trying to go, but it's back at VWAP as we speak. Alibaba just tagged 98.
Rip it.
So we're going to continue to hold this one into VWAP. It will go for 2 here in Alibaba. It filled in the gap. We just had to be a little bit patient with it because they do these. These Chinese ADRs are known to sometimes try to wick everybody out before going.
Okay, so yeah, same kind of play here on Alibaba, 97.17, we're long. We're just getting some more out. We still have half of this position, by the way, for Alibaba. So nicely cooking now to that upside. And by the way, there goes Nvidia again. Tomas, nice plant there. I like that thing. All right, let's see what happens. You know, between two ferns, you seen that? We could do that.
That's what I was, the first thing that came to my mind.
Right there. I think that would be great. I think I could definitely do a podcast like that. Okay, so we're getting out some more Nvidia as that cracks lower. All right, and honestly, guys, just here on Apple, like, that's making this move back in. I'm a little bit nervous about it. It's not trading the way I thought it would. If the market falls down now, great. I'm not, you know, like, again, we've hit our goal for today. We talk about that. I think that's important that I say that. And whenever you hear me say that, you know, that's like our goal on the day. And what I'm talking about are the quick kind of trades. We had that David Blacklock yesterday talking all about that. He's up 88 grand this month, doing different things just like this. Getting in, getting out. I want to thank everybody. We had Noah this morning as well talk about making trades like this. I've hit the goal for the day and extended it. So for right now, it is what it is. We're starting to get out. It's 10:05. It's been a great day for us. And we're getting lighter and lighter on all of these positions. But I still do. I've traded thousands of Apple shares, but I still do have a piece on right now. And if this breaks that high, then we are out. We probably have, well, not probably, I have 10% left of that big position that I said I had. And we cleared out a lot of this when it came back into these levels. This is part of the risk profile, and this is how you make those big days. And then Alibaba, again, right there at the 50 period, time for another out.
Are you a skilled trader but lacking in capital? Well, prop firms offer you the opportunity to trade with simulated funds or allowing you to trade with others' funds and showcase those skills. Access account sizes ranging from 5K to a 500K, and you can start with as little as 20 bucks. But with over 500 prop firms out there, how do you find which are the best? That's where Prop Firm Match steps in. Prop Firm Match is your go-to platform for finding and comparing only the most esteemed firm with proven track records and consistent long-term payment histories. Access over 4,500 verified reviews, explore payout histories, and discover the best current deals all in one place. Scan the QR code or visit propfirmmatch.com. Click the link in the description to find the perfect prop firm for you. Shout out to Prop Firm Match. Some of the nuclear names are going. We'll get there in a second, but there was just a seller at 98 that's about to clear out here on Alibaba. That's a key level. Remember, 98 was that pre-market low that we liked, the dip and rip. It doesn't quite get to 96. Kind of felt like we were going to get there, but I think the revert into VWAP is happening at least for now. Oh yeah, there's Rob.
Rob, ignore my comment.
No questions asked. I'm definitely thirsty, but there's a big move happening. Obviously, with the market coming back into the green. Just wanted to pull up. You got SMR 9% to the upside. You've got Oklo is making a power move as well. This is load, load, load. This is a 9.5% to the upside. So the nuclear names are going a little bit ham today. I was going to say they were going nuclear, but that was way too on the nose. So Alibaba back into VWAP. Just make sure you have it's a little on the nose.
That was all right. I liked it.
I don't know.
I can't believe how much Alibaba is now ripping right now. Where are you long this name? Because we
prior bar high break.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, it's not really
you're
that part.
Just long right now. No, sorry. You still got a great trade. I mean, that's the whole point. So look at this. Now there goes Alibaba. Whoopsies. We had written down here on the sticky note, Raider. And we slapped a fail on it. We slapped a fail on it. We're back now to being flat on Alibaba. Well, we're up, but okay, there it is. So $98, get out if it breaks 97. We had wrote that down. We cannot be risk managers and trade prop and be here for 23 years or something like that, and not have risk profiled out, right? So we need to be risk managers here. And for me, that was the out right there at 97. Did we wind up missing the out by a couple pennies? Yes, because it goes to 96.50, but never fear, we got back into there. So never fear, we got back into here. And then there it ripped up through 97, giving us that play that we wanted again. Nice play up there upside for Alibaba. Now starting to really start to rip. Not multiple dollars, $1 and change now in the money on that play. $1.15 in the money. 70 cents now in the money on Nvidia, as we just got a 125 fill there, Neil. Put your bid, you're still in it. If you want shares, put your bid. Like that was 125 we just got. And if you're trading with shares, 50 cents, trust me, I see everybody on the chat there talking about all this. 50 cents, like if you're trading whatever kind of shares, it doesn't matter. But a 50-cent win there, look how fast this can go right back up. So get your bids in this market. So, if that comes through, great. But that we just did that, and I want to bring that to everybody's attention. We're at the highest spot all day so far.
Yeah, so far, no LFT will knock on some wood there.
Yeah.
Look, here's AMD. I was just getting that chart back up. And you blink an eye, and AMD is now absolutely moonshotting to the upside. This is going, look, it is what it is. AMD, what's the saying? The sun shines on a dog's ass even twice a day?
Yep.
Well, that's what's happening.
You can use the broken clock is right twice.
Oh, I like the sunshine one.
Me too. I like the dog's ass one.
I like that one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to guess Intel's propped up as well. But we've wicked a couple times here on Nvidia, and I want to see if I haven't gotten the reload since the open trade, so I'm still sitting in that trade with a stop at the lower high. But I want to see us maybe wick that VWAP one more time. And this Alibaba, let's go to Adara in a second, but Alibaba just goes right into VWAP for the second time since the open and is starting to curl. But trend in, trend out. And that's going to be the plan of action. You've got a nice distinct trend from the bottom. If it loses that, I'm going to jump out of the trade if it can't hang on to VWAP here. Let's go to the desk with Adara.
It's worth noting here, as we have that pop in AMD, I'm not sure if there's any specific news on this, but I am seeing this story circulate here on social media that was published by Reuters about 20, 30 minutes ago. Basically, an audit from NewsGuard showed that DeepSeek's Chatbot actually ranked 10th out of 11th in a variety of metrics. So apparently not ranking as well as they claimed to. Apparently they repeated false claims 30% of the time and then gave vague or unhelpful answers 53% of the time. It has an 83% fail rate, apparently DeepSeek. Again, this is according to one audit from NewsGuard published, according to Reuters, I guess, about 20 minutes ago. But just be aware here, apparently DeepSeek not found to be as successful as the initial claim suggested, guys.
Wait a minute, lies coming out of China? That is not possible. No, please double check that story.
I don't believe you.
No way that is true. There's no way that a story that came out of China about beating American dominance is actually not true. I mean, that has to be 100% true. Okay, so again,
it's kind of making me temper my expectations on Alibaba to the upside today.
Is it? I don't know. I mean, I like Alibaba.
I like Alibaba for a lot of other reasons.
We're getting more Nvidia.
I'm just thinking if it gets to 100, I'm not completely sold on taking a breakout trade on Alibaba. It's holding VWAP very nicely, though. So you're holding on to VWAP. The trend is your friend to the end when it bends. I think I'm going to cover in front of $100 on Alibaba based on that. I mean,
if it gets up to $100, that'd be freaking.
But I was going to take a breakout. I don't know if I'm taking a breakout on this anymore. That's all I'm getting at. So the other thing I want to be very, very close to
Nvidia is tanking right now. Boy.
We're about to lose VWAP on Marvell again. It came up to that 105. it's a breaking trend as we speak, and I like trend entries on breaks on Marvell. We did it in the afternoon. It broke this trend. If it holds 105, I got to go back over to this short as well. So Nvidia breaking down, Marvell starting to break down again as well. I don't mind 104.5 because I'm giving it to 105. We'll try to pick this one back up and get back into the other chip short that we like.
And guys, there it is again. Look at this. Like all of these outs here on Nvidia. I mean, really starting to print out. Like hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit all of that, people out there, because you've now found this show. This has been now back to back to back to back to back. And it's not about you know, being humble or anything like that, because we're here to show you guys that these trades are very, very possible. Those of you that have been watching, I did this yesterday, the day before that. Neil's putting up some numbers here today. We're all doing stuff every day. We're showing you different styles of trading. We're talking about our trades. Our positions are right there. So Alibaba right now, is that not? We talked about this when we took this trade. It actually went against us. I put another bid to get more. I mean, it's just, there it goes, man. $1.70 now in the money for Alibaba. $1.50 in the money now for NVD face slapper A right there to the downside, right as it comes right back in. Not only that, but now we have our what now? We've had this for 5 years. The sticky note now, the most clicked on thing that we have right there, giving it all right there, 98.97. The Apple short did not work. We'll talk about that. Starbucks, we have to look at, and then Amazon. That's what's on there for sticky for trades today. But instead, we go right back over. We put damage on. Guess what, Neil? It's first of all, Apple. What am I even talking about? Apple's my #1 stock today. And then Nvidia right now with this move has overtaken that spot position pending, depending on how much we wind up getting out here. So far here today, man, we're putting up the numbers. We're showing you that it's possible. It's been a great little run here in the market. And again, just try to stay in your zone, try to be what you're doing, and that is what it is right there. So thank you to everybody that continues to support Sticky Note Nation and everybody here at Trader TV Live, because it's just another one and another one and another one. And it's every day, and we just want to thank everybody for being here, because without you guys, we don't have the show, right? And so
exactly, and thank you guys so much. And Dave TV with a great question in here. How can you track so many stocks? I actually don't think it's that many. I'm in 3. I've been in 3, and I have 4 charts up and 4 primary level 2s. So generally speaking, those 4 are no issues. And then you trade with a plan of action. Like, I know what I'm looking for here in Alibaba, and I know what's actually happening right now. So just gonna move my trailing stop on BABA. Just come to my chart for a second. We said trend in, trend out. So downtrend, break trend, prior bar, breakout, scalp to VWAP, break trend, break this bar underneath 98.6, jump out of it. So it's pretty similar to like trades that we do like over and over again. And I think as long as you have that, use stop orders, obviously, that's a good way to be able to manage multiple trades. And you try to go from there. Like if you have a strategy or an execution strategy, the price that you know you want to trade the stock at, where you're not interested in it at all, then you can just sort of back off. I knew with Marvell, I wanted to confirm that it held the 195 or the 105 level. So I waited until it upward trend, get out at VWAP, break trend, get in, give to prior bar high. That's exactly the same entry that we put on in Alibaba. So that's what we're going to work with. Still Nvidia looking very, very good. I'd be a little bit skeptical about AMD all of a sudden, because if Nvidia continues to flush, it's hard to imagine AMD continues this rally to the upside. But I'm sticking with short in Marvell and Nvidia because they're both weaker. But AMD, I'm skeptical of this. I cannot see Nvidia flushing like this and AMD continuing to hold this strong. It doesn't make any sense to me.
We're $4 in the money right now. And that is included with, obviously, this Nvidia is $1.20 in the money. Alibaba is now $2. And we just took some out right there at the top for that $2 win as we go. So far, so good here today as Neil and I peruse around the market. And I'm having a very, very fun time trading here. Thank you to everybody. RCAT. Okay, let's look at RCAT. You know what we haven't looked at again here? Neil used to do smaller cap names. I think we've gone away from that a little bit. The midday show definitely covers.
I was looking at one.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, we don't, we trade what we want to trade, so it's fine. But we will look at some different stocks, obviously, as we go. Look, I even went on like a little thing there about DJT being at $35 to the point where it was like, okay, I don't want to talk too much because I don't want to say that this is definitely coming back down because there's a lot of people that are very passionate about this name for sure. But there's $35 again, and we talked about it earlier on in the pre-market and that it was coming up into the 50-period moving average, and that little wick up there, a little bit of exuberance happening right away, and then right off the open, I mean, people might have got the message. This printed 32.50. So yeah, nice little downside play there for DJT. But $1.50 in the money on Nvidia right now, and then $2 in on BABA. Those are the two trades that I'm working with. For me, for Alibaba, I still do have 15% left of those trades. So that is that. But yeah, we are having an absolutely banger of a day. I'm up more today than I was yesterday, but not as much as I was on Monday. So yeah, good days overall. We're slowly increasing our shares every single time. The thing about this Apple trade is, thank you so much, Rob. Rob's been killing it. And did you shake it? Okay. He said the almond milk might be shady, so I appreciate the warning.
Oh, okay. Like,
it's fine.
There's other milk.
Yeah, no, it's fine. All right, so a little dramatic.
Okay.
I'm trying to, just in case when this trading thing, although it's obviously clearly
usually
working,
just throw
if
it
it doesn't
out if
work
it's not
out there,
good,
I can, possibly do maybe a sitcom, or I don't know. We can do some sort of a reality show or something like that. You can hit me up at Trader TV, Sean. Just go on to X or Instagram or something like that. I think we could have a heck of a lot of fun, like something like that show. Have you watched The Bookie yet? On HBO Max? Oh, you don't have Crave. Anyway,
well, I do now.
Okay, good. Yeah. Good.
Sharif.
I'm glad that you and Sharif are stealing. That's fantastic.
I'm not stealing anything. He gave it to me.
Yeah, but knowingly. Okay, yeah, it doesn't matter. You can have mine too. It doesn't matter to me. Oh, actually, I don't have Crave. Actually, I see it. I know we do. It's through Bell though. So we have. I don't know if that would work. But at the end of the day, what I was getting at here is. I can't even remember. Oh, we're talking about Bookie. You have not seen it, or you have?
I have not seen it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a great gambling show.
I just trailed out of Nvidia, by the way.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah, go discuss your Nvidia, because we still have a couple shares left.
Yeah, it's only 10.20. So look, Nvidia just wicked the bottom, rounded bottom, and a bit of a trend break. If it gets back to VWAP, I'll jump back into it. But just going to sort of stick with the rules. The 125, this was an area inflection point anyways. So I knew this is a spot where probably was going to play some over-unders. So we're going to jump out of that one. Nvidia's obviously been good. Alibaba is now tracking toward that high.
Monster.
Oh, my goodness. Are we still taking... I canceled my $100 breakout order on Alibaba. And at this point, I just keep moving my stop underneath prior bar under the trend. So that allowed me 99 and a quarter is where I'm going to throw this. Yeah, I'm still going to cover in front of 100. I'm still going to cover in front of 100. You stick to the plan. Some of that has to do with the news that we got on that DeepSeek and maybe not being as good as expected. And then Alibaba, like, how much do we want to believe here? It did a great mean reversion. If it breaks the trend or gets to 100, we're going to jump out of it. A little disappointed with. All right, I'm more than a little disappointed with myself on Boeing here. This was I should have had Boeing. It came right into VWAP. And obviously we were doing some other stuff at the time. So it is what it is. Someone was just asking how many stocks can you trade? Well, there's opportunity cost on Boeing. So I'm looking back and yeah, sure, I'm up on Marvell and Nvidia has been a good short. But truth be told, Boeing was better. And I didn't get it today. And we liked it failing underneath 180. Well, there's a fail breakout. There's a fail VWAP 180. Now it's at $175. And it stinks because I own this in my long term. So you could have tempered it by actually being shorted today. Yeah, sometimes it can be good after one day in earnings and bad after a little bit, after another couple of days. Let's go to the desk, I believe, with Adara.
We're going to take a look here at some small caps. IWM here. This is, of course, the smaller cap ticker. Look at this hold of this area just below that 227.40s, about 227.30s. Not a great look on the day, but trying to bounce a little bit here. That 228.20 rejection, though, pretty fierce this morning. We do have some other, of course, small caps to look at, as per usual. VNET on watch here. VNet, I could not find a catalyst for this name, but about a 3.8% short float for VNET. Significant short float for VERU. This is Veru, about a 10% short float. No news from today, but back on Monday, they did announce some positive top-line data from their study here showing that their enobosarm treatment actually was able to help patients conserve lean muscle mass while taking Wegovy. So good look here for VERU. Again, that was back from Monday. And then, of course, one of the bigger small cap runners from earlier today, this morning, SGN, still holding up relatively well. Signing Day Sports announcing that they've executed this stock purchase agreement to acquire the majority of capital stock of Swifty Global. So keep an eye on SGN. Worth noting here, about an 18% short float, despite a float of about 620,000 shares. So very small float for SGN. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. So look, BABA is now at, well, I mean, it's not at 100, but I mean, it's at 100. So I was sitting there in front of 99.8, like this little hump here. I just sat on the offer there. Usually, okay, I'm not going to punch short. Usually I'd be thinking short on a move like this if it closes underneath and play for the breakdown, but I just want to be favoring the long on Alibaba. So I guess maybe if it trends down or gets into VWAP, that's where we'll look for a reload in BABA. There's lots of places you could have gone in 97 breakout. This wick here, you could have taken this reversion as well. I just wanted the day-long reversion trade, like kind of off of both highs. Either one, it didn't really matter. There's some other things going in here. We talked about the nuclear names, did not mention that your quantum names are going as well. I always stumble on that. Rigetti up 6% here and looking very strong. I kind of like the nuclear plays a little bit better today if you're going to start chasing some things, but Rigetti having a very good day as well. And Amazon's the other name that I haven't really gotten any play on. Well, it's now back above VWAP. So it's taken a hot minute for Amazon to show some strength, but it's looking a heck of a lot better than it was earlier. And now holding on to that 238 level. So if it can give you a consolidation, just give me a higher low off this 238 level, and then we can be back in business with Amazon. Backed away from it today. I kind of feel like it's possible I'd be up on it, but I think if I had gone long Amazon today, I'd probably be red on the stock. It gave you the rounded bottom. Now let's put in the higher low and see if we have a chance to go here on Amazon. So I'm still in Marvell because it's still holding that 105, and this is what it kind of did yesterday. 105, just anchored to this price. There was a couple of runs into it, so we've just been shorting it into that high. If it breaks 105, we can get away from this stock. Marvell's a good company after all.
Yeah, I saw ASML with their report as well. Wow, is it getting hot in here? Like yesterday, I feel like it was freezing cold.
It's warmer today outside though. Remember, so it's like
yeah, it's actually back.
It's above zero.
Yeah,
it's above zero today.
Degrees.
It's nice.
Fair enough. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Right there. Okay, I don't really know what to do anymore because this is now $2 in the money for Nvidia as it just faded right back. I know you got out of it, but Nvidia right now is at the day's low. And there it is, man, 4% now downside. And we're in this trade. We're in it now. Short at one. You can see the price. I don't have to. That's what I'm saying. Like sometimes it seems like, oh, look at these prices. But I mean, it's just like we were shorting this all with you guys this whole time. And you're going to see obviously very different strategies happening between Neil and I, between the midday guys. I take many, many outs as we go to the downside there and just try to preserve capital and make money when money is available to us. But then we also do have the ability, like I said, we're still holding 10% of this Alibaba trade as this one will go. We don't have any red stocks. I say that, and this Amazon trade, again, depending, it was long at 37s. We got some out there at like 40s. And then once it lost 37, we got out there. Looks like we got like an 89 or 92 fill or something. So this one will be a red mark, but the idea of being long at 237, all we had to do was hold that 30 cents and rips up $1.50. But at the end of the day, I guess this will be a slightly red mark. The only other trade that we've had on all day was Apple, which is actually going to be battling. Like we actually made a lot of money on this Apple trade. And it's because we put in a lot of shares here at these levels and then just cashed them out for easy bottoms. But we only identified it that it was stronger than the market because as the market was coming down, Apple was going up. We wanted to respect the pre-market highs until they broke. Once that broke through 236, as we had it written, we have Alibaba long 97.98 on here. So let's, I mean, if you're joining again, and we'll talk all about this, I keep showing it because we always get new viewers, but there's Baba Long 98 with your 97 bottom. Right now, Alibaba's at $100. So that's a good move. Apple with the short is your P&L number 2 for the show today. So I like that trade, despite it being upside. Starbucks, we have to go over there, and then there's that Amazon trade. The Nvidia, we talked about it. Nvidia's gonna be my P&L number 1 now for 3 straight every day this week. I don't know if it's 3 straight. I don't know what I was doing on Friday. But, wow, now NVIDIA's even going lower right now, Neil. We are now $2.35 in the money on NVIDIA right now today, as that even goes lower. Now in the money 4%, not in the money, now down 4% on NVIDIA. But we said this at 8:30, I said, I know NVIDIA's not on here, and it was because waiting to see what kind of movement we had. We talked about the 125 break, we took it. We talked about shorting into VWAP, we took it. So now that it's $3 in the money, it just kind of is part of the game. So there it goes, NVIDIA cracking lower. It's an absolutely monster day again, and I'm trying to just tell you the straight facts. If we had a bad day, I sit here and tell you that as well, but today's been a good one there. So thanks everybody again for today for watching, and there's more to come. We're back at 145.
Yeah, and remember it's a Fed day too. There's a lot to still go. I don't think the Fed's a big deal, but earnings aftermarket are going to be a big deal, and all of this DeepSeek, Alibaba, and the chips, they're just going to be in play until we get actual numbers from the big boys, and that's going to be, I mean, NVIDIA is literally one of the last ones to report at the end of the month next year. I think you're going to get the volatility. Sebastian, I canceled my 100 breakout orders, asking you guys still taking the breakout? I don't know if you're still taking it. I canceled it, and I talked myself out of shorting on the mean reversion on Alibaba because I was only looking for longs today on Alibaba. And that was probably a bit of a mistake, but let's be patient with it. It's still cresting. It has a chance to maybe get back to that 100 on a little bit more strength in a consolidation. I just don't like a breakout when it's that parabolic into the breakout. To me, that's an obvious trap. Like if it does all that and then breaks it out, that's just trying to sucker people, and it's gone too far too fast. Ideally, I'd like to go a little sideways, consolidate, then break out the 100 level. That'd be more reasonable for me. So it's got a chance maybe to get to VWAP in here, maybe do something else. Still working with Marvell, short side. And AMD, I don't think it can, like it already broke its trend line. If the market can hold underneath the lows, like if we hold underneath the bottoms here, I think AMD on this kind of reversal of trend can be another one that we jump on over to. I'm gonna have to like I said, I have to reevaluate that. Boeing, that was my 4th idea. I've only traded the 3 stocks that I like today, but the 4th one was a Boeing short. I just don't see any way that we're going to get into Boeing now, not off of these lows. If anything, Boeing, and sometimes this happens, is like the trade that you want, but then what's the one in front of you? It's at that 174 support level. So I can look for some kind of a trend break and maybe a tight stop long in here off of what is Boeing support. But outside of that, I'm not going to try to short it at the absolute low at 1030. That's kind of a little bit crazy for me. And then Amazon, we like that one potentially for a long. It's trying to get back above VWAP. Wanted to see it confirm that we've got some buying in and about and above VWAP. Looks like that's finally happening here in Amazon. So it could be Amazon, not Boeing, that's next, as I just saw it went green on volume. So I'll reload Marvell at 105 as long as it wants to give it to me. Alibaba at VWAP and Amazon at volume weighted average price. Let's go to take care of some business.
Yeah, we do have, okay, oh, you have it up there. Okay, perfect. So we do have the campus program back on right now. So we want to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to trade real money and gain real experience. So this is back on. It's open only right now to Canadian residents. The program is designed to teach participants how to become real traders and guide their way through the market, guide their way through our platform, and learn about prop trading, learn about basically what Neil and I are doing. Exploration of many different marketplaces, over 50 marketplaces available with P Pro 8 and real trading. Different order types, execution, retail versus amateur trades. Like, get in the game with us and real trading, and you got to start right there with Real Trading Campus. It is available to Canadian residents. Hit apply now, scan the QR code. The focus will be on U.S. equities for this upcoming cohort. So we've traded some Canadian names in this program before, focusing on U.S. equities, I'm told to tell you, for this upcoming cohort. So, again, be part of a group. curated stock lists, helping you. Neil and I have been making some videos about training and things like that. And I just think it's super, super important that everybody get a niche that they can focus on. And that's the way really to become like...
find your edge.
Yeah, edge is a great word. Speak about that. My daughter used to always get her. Yeah, I went to one of Edge's last matches, actually. I haven't been into wrestling in a while. I'm going to Elimination Chamber, which I think is in March here. Supposed to be Cena's last match in Toronto. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so here's real trading from yesterday. It's actually... not that exciting. I almost feel bad that we opened it up. The day before yesterday, we actually had a couple traders that were 20 and 30 grand based on some of the volatility. I'm surprised yesterday wasn't a lot bigger, so I don't really know what to tell you, but someone in the Canadian marketplace yesterday.
Shopify, I'm guessing.
So when we're the 51st state, what does the TSX start? I guess it could still be called Toronto Stock Exchange, but I don't know. Do we merge with NASDAQ here? I don't know. So. We'll figure that out. So definitely not NASDAQ because we have like 3 tech companies in the whole country. But there's NASDAQ coming out again, NASDAQ. And look, this is the benefit of real trading. I'm not, we're not going to, sort of hide it. Look at all, and we're gonna support it. I mean, we're gonna champion this. Blue Ocean, Brussels, Copenhagen, LSE, Madrid, Milan, Paris, Stockholm, Switzerland, etc. So they're all over the board here, no matter what time zone you're in. I mean, check it out. You're in Europe. This person's trading Blue Ocean, which is overnight U.S. equities. So someone in Europe definitely burning the midnight oil, but you can also trade during his or her time frame Blue Ocean. So there it is again. Look at Blue Ocean again.
I know.
Man, people be making that cash. And then there it is, CBOE Canada as well. Shout out to them and shout out to CBOE there with e-signal. But as we continue to go on, man, let's compare your profits. You can be part of that team here at Real Trading with Campus Program. All right, so we are now into less than 5% of Alibaba. It does break that 99.50, we get out. Our best out is 99.90s for Alibaba. Top stock for both of us today, obviously, as Alibaba.
It's a beast.
Well, we have all
Nvidia was slightly better for me.
Okay.
Bringing up the rear is going to be Marvell, although... I'm going to say my worst stock today is not Marvell. My worst stock today is Boeing because it was just literally trended down the whole morning. We wanted it short and didn't get it. But Marvell just broke this high. It's a local high in here. So best trade was off the open. And then we've been going underneath any resistance we can find, whether it's VWAP or now 105. But it just wicked 105. And you're upward trending. So what I didn't like about this and why I stopped it out here instead of up there is higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. That's a lot of higher lows to try to hold this into the high of the day. Like maybe if it can break and fail above the current high, we can jump back into that trade. And then BABA, all right, what did you do, Alibaba? Type it a little slowly, because I'm used to, in my head, I want to type NASDAQ, so I'm just putting it into the system a little bit slower. I tried to grab it when it broke trend. You can see it never really gave you an entry tight to the trend break. So I'll let it come back into this 98.70, which, by the way, is also the opening range top, right at 930, and see if we can play it off of VWAP. So Alibaba have not made another trade. And Elon just said you took the long in Boeing. Yeah, Boeing's also a bit of a trend break, but yikes. Yeah, I don't love that one. I think I'd rather go long and find longs in Alibaba, sort of stick to that plan in BABA, as opposed to trying to pick that Boeing bottom. It's easy to talk yourself into something like that, but I'm going to stay away from it. And you know what, traders? If you're trying to find whatever it might be, whatever your strategy might be, it can be a support and resistance, it can be trend lines, it can be RSI. If you want to do that, then listen up, because e-signal is for you. And you know what? The first month is FREE, free 99 without the 99. That's right. They're waiving fees, trade smarter, not harder, upgrade to the elite, and that is e-signal. So as I said, analyze, strategize, capitalize. Your platform's going to give you everything you want. Infinite data, ease of use, customizability. Hey, you want that dark theme? Go with that. We use the light charts to make it easier on your guys' eyes, but I like the dark myself. Game-changing charts. Use back testing.
The dark. He's a rebel.
He uses it.
Sharif uses it.
Well, I mean, it's easier on the eyes, man. I don't argue with it. I think you got to do whatever works for you. And it's the reliable real-time data. Oftentimes you'll hear us say at the open, look at the quotes go nuts at the open, and sometimes You want something that's going to be stable. That's exactly what eSignal gives you, all in one platform.
Nvidia.
Scan that QR code you see in front of you. Check the link in the description. What up? Let's go to Adara.
Yep.
We're going to do here combined Bitcoin or crypto and sector segments here. Also, be well BKKT. I'm just seeing that Ninja Research has shorted it. In the meantime, let's talk about Bitcoin. This is the daily chart here. Still, of course, finding resistance at the double top of those previous all-time highs here, the most recent one of which was just above 10, I believe just above 109,000. As of right now, currently hanging out just below 102,000. Bitcoin down in the day, I guess relatively. Ethereum down in the day. Ripple XRP, which we know has been on watch here with Brad Garlinghouse of Ripple trying to put Ripple into this Bitcoin reserve alongside BTC. Down about 4% here. Solana down about 4%. BNB down about 1%. It's hard to find any positivity here. We have a little bit of drip to the downside in these crypto-related tickers. Guys, back to you.
There's going to be something there on Nvidia because Nvidia just really cranked lower there. We'll hit this right here because this is going to be a big trade. I don't know. What salad does everybody like? Fruit salad? I don't know if Neil just went to go get some fruit salad, but we have fruit salad here. And if you want some nice little tasty treats, grab some fruit salad today. But okay, there it goes. Look at this, 123.50. I mean, we are now almost $3 in the money on this trade. We've traded today Apple, Amazon, Baba, and Nvidia. And oh boy, there we go. To the downside goes Nvidia. I'm taking another piece. I just got another piece at 123.60 right there. So again, off VWAP, bang, to the downside. So we'll try to do better to hold a little bit more, but there's nothing else I can do. I'm up more today than I was on Nvidia yesterday. The best day for me on Nvidia was Monday when we had some crazy trades, but this is even a better trade. I mean, they're all what they are. When you have a $3 winner, and the stocks only moved $3 today, by the way. Like that's 126.60. It's 123.40, and we're 270 in the money. So like we almost have top to complete bottom right now, but we have been getting out of shares. So again, I'll try to push the share size a little bit, use more shares, get out, like use a little bit more and get out right here. And you know what? Like I justify this in my own mind every day because I look back and I say, what if and I talk about this with Obi, with Neil, with everybody. It's like, what if I just held more shares? But then I don't capture, like then Apple's not P&L 2 today. It's actually wiping out. Well, not all these Nvidia profits, but wiping out some profits because if I don't scalp this out right down here, then it can't be where it is. And I've made about 30 to 40% more on Nvidia today than I will have on Apple, but Apple is still a really good stock for me today because we're able to short the levels that we liked and able to get out on strength near VWAP and just taking on Apple like 30 or 40 cents, acknowledging that and then getting out on the break and not suffering through this. Meanwhile, we flip it around again, and on Nvidia, it's almost the other way around, where we take in shares, again, getting out at key levels, but because, we're underneath everything, and because Nvidia is pretty short today, as we called, to be honest with you, that is something that we're going to try to hold a little bit more of and cash out. Neil, we talked about this. We are $3 in the money. We are now $6. What's up, Ozan? We are now $6. 3 plus 2, we are now $5.25 in the money on these two positions, including both Alibaba and Nvidia. So again, down with America, I guess, with Nvidia, and yay with Baba. No, I'm just saying that's what we're playing. We're playing the China strength, and apparently the Nvidia weakness continues today. So I'm gonna put another bid right here at 123. Why? Because that's who we are, and we are right here, the chef. One more time, cooking up profits for Trader TV Live viewers. And it's 10:41, man. We got some more filming to do today. I'm gonna go get a little bit of a haircut as we go. Good stuff happening.
Make me look bad with the haircut.
Yeah, well,
I wanted to go yesterday. Daughter had swimming, so that kind of took precedence. So that's what we had to do. But okay, very quickly, trend on AMD off VWAP. If it holds on to the trend, I want to fade this. I know it's at VWAP. Sometimes you look for a bounce, but I was skeptical that AMD was going to be able to hold up in all of this, and I think it's going to probably break down. So looking for it to hold trend, jump into the short into VWAP. Let's go to Adara.
An eye on all of these pharma-related stocks, specifically anything with vaccinations, because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. currently undertaking his Senate confirmation hearing for the health department role that Donald Trump has nominated him for. PFE actually at day's highs right now. This is Pfizer. Robert F. Kennedy saying that apparently he supports measles and polio vaccines and he will not discourage people from taking them as secretary. So people are really worried about the potential anti-vaccination sentiments coming here from RFK Jr. As of right now, actually kind of proving this not to maybe be the case, guys. Keep an eye on these vaccine-related stocks as RFK continues to speak. Also here, we'll do a quick sector watch while we're here. There's nothing too crazy happening ahead of earnings, but a lot of these tech names sharply to the downside. Microsoft, Google, Oracle, CRM, now Palantir, CrowdStrike, all markedly red. CrowdStrike notably red here a day after making new all-time highs yesterday, above 400. Then we have electronic technology a little bit weak as well with Nvidia and Broadcom. But GE, AMD, Cisco to the upside. So there's some mixed sentiment here. Finance green, health technology green, producer manufacturing green, consumer non-durables green. With that, we'll bring it back to the guys.
Bang, that's what we're talking about. You hear everyone getting excited behind us. Why? Because there goes Alibaba now. Now we're $7 in the money. Alibaba and Nvidia going opposite ways right now. Alibaba is absolutely rip city to the upside. That's $3. And look what's happening with Nvidia. Nvidia getting clocked to the downside. Oh man, this has been again. Great days here. It looks like something's probably come out again about sort of the productivity there of Baba, of these Chinese sort of.
I haven't heard anything. I think it's just continuation of what was already happening.
Oh,
and Baba, an absolute powerhouse. I just instantly got like the second Alibaba broke, has nothing to do with AMD, but the second Alibaba broke, AMD lost VWAP like right when we just got into it. So I guess maybe chalk that up to this.
Let's go.
I think it's like maybe a rotation trade, but whatever is happening, another type of move just happened on Alibaba. I cancel my breakout order if we can come back in and just hold 100. I think you got to be able to go for it. But I said the next thing I was going to do was short AMD above VWAP, and it was more, forget about breaking the trend. I just wanted to hold the trend and short it. So I want to get back into 115.7. That's right in here. We'll put our next bid down at that price and stay on target as long as we can, as this market has been absolutely nuts. So upside there on Baba, downside on the market, downside. I mean, the Qs are going down as well. Downside in Nvidia. It's looking pretty nasty. Maybe Nassim Taleb was right. He sort of said that Nvidia was going to head a heck of a lot lower, called it a black swan event. I will acknowledge that I liked Amazon, and I'm kind of looking at Apple. I didn't go long Apple today. I thought that Apple was not nearly as strong as it was the last couple of days. It's now at the 238 level. So this is where I like the Apple short. And yeah, it's about to revert the trend. So I'm going to take my shot at Apple now as it's trying to revert the trend from the entire day.
Yeah, that Nassim guy is kind of like a broken clock, isn't it? Predicts everything, and eventually you'll be right. Hey, look at this. Look at this right here, guys. Alibaba. You hear everybody behind us getting excited, man. And it's because, again, look at Alibaba, the number one idea on today's sticky note. They're the Alibaba long. And as you can see, what's been happening with Alibaba is, I mean, it is just exploding right there to that upside. Risk management wins again. We get out there for a light hit. Then we just ramp it right back up, and it's too bad because I was waiting for a little bit more. But there it goes, right, nicely done now to the upside. We were just talking about, I was sort of like, we were $5 in the money. We're now $7.90 or so because Nvidia is continuing this move down into 122 again. It's not SSR. Someone said it was SSR.
No.
No, it's not. It's only down 5%, but it was a couple days ago. So no, yeah, it's not. So yeah,
it only lasts that day and the next day.
Yeah, so it's already refreshed. But down there into 122, so maybe we can find a little bit of a bottom there coming in now. That was 121.70. We only have a very, very small piece left of Nvidia, right? So I was saying this to Obi. I think we should do better trying to explain like risk units and like what we're really thinking on these trades. Like when we're going long Alibaba there, was it a 5-unit play? Like if you sort of rank how many shares you have, and that way we're not sort of discussing share size. size, but it's like, okay, this trade right there would be like 3 units, let's just say, out of a maximum 5 unit. Like, I think that would be something that we could probably add to the show, and that way it would not, you know, my unit could be 1 share, Neil's units could be 100 shares, whatever, but it's a 5-unit play. That way, when you guys see some of these things moving, you would know like what we have on, and we would just be honest about that and tell you, you know, how many shares as in a unit measure, right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. There it goes, nice move to the upside there for Alibaba as that's starting to pay out. And then again, we might have just dropped, so the reason why I say that is like I have like 0.1 of a unit right now on Nvidia, it's so low. But that 123 break I think is where we'll probably get out. Like we've already held it all the way down there. I mean, if it breaks lower, great, but it could always break higher. So let's try to use that little area there for the last piece that we have. It would only be a $3 winner if we took it out there, but that's about 123 right now. Tesla, I'm hearing in my ear right here, getting clobbered. And I had...
Rivian got punked.
Yeah, and this is why when Tesla was our first story, I was like, nah. Well, I actually said short 400, actually. Went to 398.50, so not there. And then the long that I liked on Tesla, which is coming close, is at 387. So maybe something in there as well. So I feel, again, real good about the trading here today. I hope you guys do as well. And then we'll figure that out. So right now, Nvidia, nice move to the downside right now. And Alibaba, nice move to the upside. We'll have to just figure out what's going on right now with all of this. But Amazon, Apple, Baba, and Nvidia on my mind. And then we're back at 10:45 now. At 1:45 to do the... not the recap.
Well, we'll be on a little bit early for the Fed.
I was trying to think about too many things there.
Well,
so the recap show, what I was going to say is the recap show is going to be a big one because we had a lot of success on the last couple big earnings days.
Yes.
So today we'll have Sharif on the recap show. We'll also have Adara on the recap show.
Might have to stand up at the desk.
Neil. Yeah, well, standing up.
Because it's exciting.
Yeah, we sort of made that a thing. I stand up every day.
I started from, I always stood at that desk, and then I hurt my Achilles, but I was doing I did some squats yesterday, and I feel pretty good about myself after squatting. I squatted with weight on my back yesterday is the best I could do.
I can't squat.
It was only 75 pounds, but
not bad, not bad.
I mean, it just felt really good. So we want to talk about Apple for a quick little second. I obviously could have gone long on trend, but my idea was to be looking for a short in this area on Apple. So the execution I'm looking for is this is a pretty decent trend line for the entirety of the day. Look at how well it's held that trend. So when it gets to resistance, which is the 238, that's like the prior close level, I'm just looking for it to revert the trend. Like I don't want to short in front of it when it's strong relative to the market. It's at the highs when the market's at the lows. So I don't want to be shorting it off that top. I want a confirmation that it's breaking trend. Once it does and closes under, then I'm going to jump into the short on Apple. And that's if it even happens on Apple. Let's go to Adara.
Baba is...
Well, I do not raise my...
This is the U.S. dollar, and this is, I mean, still continuing to kind of push to the downside after making that topping tail candle back on Monday, January 13th. Lower highs, lower lows, and now making another lower high here as of today, unable to eclipse that 108.50 area that we kind of rejected going back to last Thursday and continuing to trickle to the downside. So that's what's going on here with this U.S. dollar. And we're also going to, of course, have the U.S. dollar on watch ahead of the FOMC meeting. We're going to be getting that coming through. The decision at 2 p.m., then comments from Fed Chair Powell coming in at 2:30. As mentioned, we are widely expecting there will be no rate change. We're going to have to wait and see if that comes to fruition. But either way, DXY is certainly going to be on watch here along with the rest of the market. Guys, back to you.
Oh, man. What's up to Jimmy Donnelly there? Up 300% on his Baba calls. I mean, I feel like I need to be in this options game like ASAP. Look at this. Wow, 101 now, and really just ripping off this 90s posted 97, 98 level. I mean, still going higher and higher and higher. Let's check in on DJT quickly just to see what's going on there, as we only have 9 minutes left to go. So was up at one point, right into that 35 level that we had mentioned as maybe being a short there. It opened up nowhere near that. It opened up at like 33.50 or so, and since then has been nothing but downside on Fintech announcements, I guess. Bitcoin, we've kind of left it alone a little bit here. Let me just check to see
Nothing,
what.
Burger.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything happening right there. Let's see what's going on with IBIT. Yeah, so I mean, IBIT's still up that 1%. That's been pretty nice, but overall, really choppy. The lines really aren't telling me anything. They ain't speaking to me right now on that one. Let's check out an earnings play that I stay away from earnings on earnings days. I talked about that with Tesla. I haven't even looked at Meta or anything yet here today. So Meta goes whoops, and now just leveling off. I would expect something very, very similar to that as well. So yeah, man, I mean, again, congratulations to everybody that rode with me here on Alibaba and with Neil, but we are really extending now to the upside. Over $4 now in the money, and I always say try to keep a piece on, and I mean, that's what we've done right there. Shout out to Adam DeLuz and some of the other traders there in the chat that have really noticed some of the calls that we make can get extended, and so you got to stay in the game to make the gains, right? And I mean, it's just like that. It's people talk about gains in the gym, gains in the market. I mean, what we've been putting on right now here has been a pretty good little run of trades, like just looking down here and seeing $7. I mean, again, really good trading for the last little while. And, you know, just really happy to be here with everybody. As 10:53, we'll get ready to go. I don't expect much. I'm not going to steal the thunder from these guys here on the midday, but we do have Powell coming at 2 p.m. So probably some of the slower runner, or sorry, the lower cap names probably going to get looked at by these guys there on the midday. So get ready for that as they're getting ready to rock and roll. But let's go, man. Huge trading for Alibaba. My stop might just be that $100 break lower again. That would be giving up about $1. So that little move right there on the 100 break probably just gets me out. But again, we have percentage points of what we had left on our original position. So big day alert. Probably my highest net maybe all week at this point. We'll see if we can get a little bit better, though, in the afternoon when Fed comes.
Ooh, I wouldn't short Baba, Gene, in the chat. And Jaspreet, good look on the 110 calls for February. I'm going to get over to Apple. Pretty much the same trade that we take over and over again. It closed underneath. We put our stop in here. And this is what someone was asking me about FOMO. You don't get FOMO if you follow your plan. I shouldn't say that. I don't get FOMO if I follow my plan. I get FOMO if I don't follow my plan. I don't care what other things are happening in the world. FOMO for me would be if I don't take this trade when it sets up. I said I wanted 238 on Apple. I let it get to that high. I let it give me my entry rule, which is the close underneath the trend line. I get my fill, I throw my stop, and then the rest is history. To me, FOMO is not having this trade because this was part of my plan and it did set up. Like if there was never a trade that I could have had in Boeing, then I can live with that. But I did have a trade I could have had in Boeing, and it is what it is. But you know, I'm a little bit peeved at it. And you always look back, it's like, well, what could I have done differently? Well, in the moment, like Baba was kind of giving you the fills, and at that point, I thought maybe we were going to get a bit of a reload shot here in Alibaba, and I was focused on Alibaba. So it is what it is. You can only trade one or two things, I think, actively at once. I'm not looking to short Alibaba. I want to see if it can hold on to, it's now a steeper trend. If it can hold on to the trend line, maybe try to get a local break with a trend top, or if it breaks the trend, go back into the prior high. So those are the things that I'm just going to patiently wait for and execute on. That's what it's all about. And buy the drip, why not? You know, true. I was turning to Sean. I'm like, oh, where'd my daily chart go? Okay, well, that's kind of fortuitous. I'll go to, let me just bring this one down here. No, I'm not getting, on my long term, I'm also not going to get rid of Alibaba. Like, I don't even care if it gets to this 120 level again. You know, I want it to hold like 140, 150. Like, I think it's either going to give a 50% move from that 100 level, a double up from this 75 to 80 level, or bust. I think I want to hold for the real juice here. You've already seen it make the move. Obviously, everyone cares a lot about what's going on with AI, but it was the valuation that got me into Baba, not even the AI in the first place. It's just a cherry on the top. And I, like Sean, did not look at any like Starbucks or anything today. We're definitely going to focus on earnings tomorrow, no questions asked, and in the aftermarket show as well, because the big boys are coming, and that's a bit of a different story. So here comes a pullback in Alibaba. Either it can hold on to this little trend or hold on to the 100 level, and we'll look for a little bit more dip and rip and continuation on the biggest and strongest names. Remember, it's a down day in the market.
All right, yeah. Is it? Yeah, 0.39, yeah, 0.4%. So, all right, guys, there's only a couple minutes left. Let's go over real quickly what is for lunch. Okay, so I actually deleted it. So let me go into the trash because it came pretty early today. The menu for Wednesday today, and it should be a decent one here. I think that they do this pretty well. We get the salads. I'm hoping for tuna on top of the salad. Yesterday was egg salad on top of the salad.
Right.
Today is grilled tandoori breast of chicken with steamed basmati rice and pan-roasted mushrooms with bean ragu.
There should be naan bread, I'm guessing,
Okay.
probably because
With grilled tandoori breast of chicken, steamed basmati rice. That is your what's for lunch. Why not, Sharif? Oh no, okay, he's in pain. Okay, we'll discuss that with everybody coming up very soon. You might not get that what's up, everybody, that he always gets, but we want to thank Sharif for coming in here today. Let me know if there's a problem. I can probably hop in.
if you need like a...
yeah, I know, I just, write a little small donation into there, and you can get Neil and I back on volunteer time, of course.
Here comes 100, by the way.
Yeah, here it comes back in. So I am going to be cutting the loss. We did talk about that if we do break through that $100 mark there. I was debating giving it, we have a small piece. Let's use the 50-period moving average. We don't use that enough on these holds, and then I get out, and I'm like, why did I get out? So let's just do that. Actually, I put the order in. I'm going to have to cancel that right there. Now let's go 99. Let's say it's 75 right there. I don't like playing around too much with the quarters. If it does break that, we'll get out. Again, small piece left. Most of our outs, I'm going to be honest with everybody, in and around, obviously, as I always do this, the 200-period moving average, we really like that. We hold about that 10 or 15% to do this, and now we have that under 2% left of Alibaba, and the same with Nvidia. I'm just getting, Obi, thank you so much for all the kind notes that he's passing me right now. But, this 124 level, that was sort of that bottom that we had talked about, so a lot of the outs coming right there, as now Nvidia looking to make new lows. My out for Nvidia is 123.50. So if that somehow magically fills, then we will get out. And we almost got out right there a couple minutes ago. So as this drips down in, like I said, man, we're going to go. We got some more filming to do. We went to the gym last night. We did some swimming. I didn't realize it was going to snow. Like, I went to the gym and it was completely fine. I did the after hours show there. It was completely fine.
I brushed my car off.
My kids did CrossFit. Everything was fine. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go home, figure this out. And then when I got out from the gym, it was like a winter wonderland. And it was like, okay, it's only going to take 40 minutes to get home. Driving. 50-something minutes later, and it wasn't too bad.
It wasn't that
bad, but
it was more than, it was definitely more than.
And I say thank God for winter tires, because I don't normally put them on, and we did it this year, and I feel like it paid out.
I can't believe you don't use winter tires.
I never actually had too much of a problem, but thing is, I could see the tires. They're not, obviously they're not bald, or they wouldn't even survive anything, but the winter tires, they needed to be put on this year for sure, and glad we did there. So
here in Toronto, I mean, here in Canada, it's a different story. I think if you don't have winter tires on, like, there's been days you couldn't get off my street.
Right, like if your street has a hill on it.
I'm dead serious. Like, we're the last to get plowed. Shout out to my guy, ever since the Achilles. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I looked out and the driveway was shoveled. I'm like, when did bro show up?
Maybe last night.
He had to have done it last night, but after I went to sleep, which is unbelievable. So I know we're going over to the midday. I did just take the reversion back into the high on Alibaba. This is going to keep going and going and going and going and going.
And going again.
The daily chart doesn't.
You say it's going to keep on going?
My daily chart doesn't want to stay
and
open.
Going, by the way.
It's going to keep going right back into the highs. Let's go on over. I got a funny feeling the Playmaker trade is going to want the long today, despite the fact the market is bleeding. So we got the professor.
145, we're back.
Yeah, we're back early at 145. We got the professor. We got Joey options. Go get him, boys.